You heard that right. His power skyrockets by fathering heirs, and he can pair with literally any species, including humans, other monsters, or even high-tier elves. But don't start wishing for an isekai trip just yet. You probably won't score a cheat code this wild, and you'd better pray titans aren't hunting you down instead. Life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, though. Our lead has already been dragged into captivity and faced a living nightmare. Brutal torture left him more wrecked than a losing team in the championship, shattering his spirit into pieces. A burning hatred for humanity consumed him despite being one of them previously. Let's rewind to where the tragedy started. Witness the seeds of his vengeance. Following the chief's death, the Goblin tribe descended into a savage, chaotic power struggle. Every monster craved the throne and the spoils left behind. The primal scent of instinct hung heavy in the air. However, one unique goblin stood apart, acting as a self-appointed protector for the human captives. Then, silence broke. Hearing a disturbance, he rushes over to find a mob cornering a helpless girl. We all know the grim fate awaiting her. Spotting the outsider, the pack lunges in a blind rage, but he swiftly drops one of his kin without breaking a sweat. Armed with a real weapon, he terrifies the cowards into a frantic retreat. Once again, the girl thanks her unlikely savior. See, he wasn't born a monster. He was once a human named Lin Tian, until Truck Kun sent him on a one-way trip. Classic Truck Kun. Now trapped in a goblin's body, he's equipped with a mysterious system that is still loading up. It hasn't fully initialized yet, but his companion fills in the gaps, schooling him on the laws of this brutal realm. Gods birthed this world and its monsters alike. While humans wield incredible powers, he's stuck as the lowest form of trash, a reviled creature with bottom-tier stats. But don't forget, his true strength awakens through the power of reproduction. And this girl looks like she's already about to pop. Since female goblins don't exist, they must target other races. Survival means crossing species lines, but his human soul recoils. The girl senses his inner humanity and knows he is different. She realizes he hates his kin. She mentions an elite knight unit that might grant him refuge if she vouches for him. Suddenly, the sound of approaching monsters shatters the peace. He urges the girl to flee as a crazed goblin emerges. The creature babbles about the human invasion, desperate to find a mate and power up before the end comes. Even facing death, the beast's primal urges take over. With one decisive strike, he ends its pathetic existence. He sends his kin straight to the underworld. The humans have arrived, and the girl glows with hope for her rescuers. Tears of joy stream down her face. And let's be real, our weak little goblin friend is looking a bit chunky, isn't he? He freezes as a warrior, unleashes a devastating skill, obliterating a pack of goblins in a single blinding flash. This guy is a beast fuming over a ruined cape. But his power levels, they're absolutely off the charts. It's terrifying. Is he even human? The girl screams for help, but our chubby hero is paralyzed by the sheer pressure. Realization hits him like a freight train. The knight's blade is already swinging, aimed straight for the girl's waist. He pulls her back just in time, and she lands in a rather suggestive position. He hopes he just misread the situation. Maybe the shadows are playing tricks, but the knight radiates a murderous intent that's impossible to ignore. She introduces herself as Kalia, but the knight scoffs. He claims she's been tainted and might be carrying monster spawn. Kalia breaks down, swearing she's pure because of the goblin's protection, pointing desperately at our round little savior. She cries that he's her hero, but the knight remains cold. Our MC acts fast, shoving her away and grabbing a staff. A fatal blow is coming, but it's intercepted by a shimmering golden light. A commanding female voice orders the knight to stop. Kalia pleads with the saintess for mercy, begging with all her strength. The holy woman turns to the monster. She asks if this goblin can comprehend human speech. This is his golden ticket to survival, and he answers instantly. He spills everything how he was human and hailed from another world. Facing the saintess, he prays for a miracle. He's practically begging for a blessing. Loder is stunned while the saintess proclaims him a divine gift from above. The saintess verifies his story with Kalia's word. They decide to bring the goblin back for a closer inspection later. She offers him a choice, and he agrees without hesitation. With a casual snap of her fingers, the barrier dissolves. The shield vanishes as she moves, ordering Loder to take action. Our chubby protagonist begins to stutter out his thanks. Gratitude fills him, but she cuts him short with a cold nod. Then a sickening sound, Kalia is run through. A cold-blooded betrayal. The woman he risked everything to save is struck down by the very people she trusted. That saint with the wicked glare and massive curves demands full repayment once they're back a week since the incident. Loder commands the town square, boasting of his goblin genocide. The bloodthirsty crowd erupts, screaming for vengeance. He spins a web of lies, claiming Kalia fell to the monsters, but the threat is gone. Then the saint speaks. The sanctuary shields the faithful, she claims, a perfect trap for mind control. More prayers simply fuel their absolute power. I barely moved before my luck ran dry. Suddenly a voice cuts through the air, summoning Saint Evlia. She stares down with pure disgust at our battered protagonist. Mangled and broken, he erupts in a desperate rage. spitting every curse word in his arsenal. She mocks him, praising his stubborn will to survive before revealing her plan to use him as a lab rat for lethal toxins. Seething, he screams that her holy act is a total sham. He accuses her of Kalia's murder, but she just drives a blade home. Kalia died for consorting with monsters and defending him. To Evlia, that's ultimate treason. Goblins are mere parasites, and he's nothing but a fleshy canvas for her dark experiments. Will he perish here? Was his fatal flaw being reborn with a soul too soft and merciful for this cruel world? After endless days of sadistic torture, he finally broke. If given a redo, he'd never offer humanity his trust again. He'd slaughter them all. Suddenly, reality shifts. A cold system notification blinks into existence, calling him the absolute biggest clown of all, transmigrators before offering a reset. Hey, at least the system keeps it real. Turns out his system only triggers upon death. The offer, a 1-week rewind, with all his traumatic memories intact. This is his shot at bloody vengeance. Loder and Evlia are on the hit list as he spawns back in the Goblin Den. But now he's got a system buff. The catch, death is permanent this time, and the human hunters are closing in fast. He unlocks a daily choice simulation perk. Without wasting a second, he pulls the trigger on his first move. Situation critical. Loder's squad found the cave. Escape is the only way to dodge a second execution. The choices alert the tribe, ditch them to save his own skin, or hide and pray Loder misses him. He knows the goblins are just fodder against Loder's power. Still curious about the outcome, he picks the path with the highest point reward, only to watch his simulated self get butchered by the humans. Simulation failed. Goblin strength is trash. But hey, he bagged 10 points. He knew his kin were useless anyway. With points in hand, he cracks open the exchange shop. It's packed with gear he definitely can't afford yet. His 10 points only buy an elven dagger. It's basic, but the 10% speed and 15 strength boost is huge. Where's Kalia? The system reveals that his reset altered the timeline. She was never captured this time around. Survival is the only mission now. At the entrance, the human guards are busy trash-talking the filthy monsters. Our boy pinches his nose, letting out a high-pitched, damsel-in-distress scream. The guards rush in thirsty for a bonus kill. Loder's orders are clear, no survivors, human or not. Grinning, the guard creeps toward the victim, whispering fake comfort. Bam! A brutal strike to the skull. The payback tour officially starts as the soldier collapses, twitching in agony. His partner wanders over, annoyed by the delay, completely oblivious to the bloody scene waiting for him. Lintian smirks. The plan is flawless. He lunges at the second guard, his elven blade gleaming with lethal intent. Before the guard can blink, Lintian buries a heavy fist into his jaw, sending the man reeling. Driven by pure spite, Lintian pounces on his prey with insane speed. His hunch was right. This dagger is a literal razor. He shreds through armor and flesh, leaving the panicked guard in a heap of blood. Realizing he's doomed, the soldier stammers, asking if this monster understands him. He starts sobbing for mercy, begging Lintian to spare his life. He pulls out a family photo, desperately playing the innocent father card. "They're waiting for me," he cries. Seeing Lintian pause, the guard realizes this goblin is actually sentient. He switches to flattery, calling Lintian smart and blaming everything on the Holy Order's commands. He tries to cut a deal, offering piles of gold and fresh young women to buy his freedom. It's a trap. While Lintian considers the offer, the rat-like soldier reaches for his blade, lunging for a sneak attack. "Stupid beast," he sneers. But he severely underestimated Lintian's god-tier speed and that wicked elven edge. Lintian carves him open before the rat can even blink. The first name on his list is officially crossed out. Our hero is locked in. He's going to milk this final life for everything it's worth in a world of traitors. Victory feels within reach, until Loder's arrogant voice echoes from just around the corner. Lintian senses the captain closing in. Executing his gambit, he strips a fallen guard to hijack his identity. Disguise secured, Lintian swears Loder and Afreya are next. Suddenly, the captain and the saint descend upon the carnage. Surveying the slaughtered troops, Loder skeptically doubts a mere goblin could have orchestrated such a brutal massacre. Afreya suspects a mutant variant is at play. The captain warns that if a freakish monster exists, chaos will erupt. If the village catches wind, it's game over. Loder callously grinds his boot into a dead soldier's face. Loder sneers, mocking the trash who fell to a lowly goblin. Elsewhere, the sadistic Afreya grins, her eyes gleaming with dark anticipation at the prospect of hunting a rare mutant. Visibly thrilled by this anomaly, the twisted saint vows to make the creature's interrogation a truly agonizing experience. Deep within the forest, Lintian exhales. His desperate gamble worked. He's finally escaped that hellish cave. Refueling his strength, he vows to dismantle his enemies through pure goblin ruthlessness. No mercy, only survival. He'll trigger veracity to devour power and dominate. His gaze hardens, consumed by a bottomless, icy hatred. He swears men will beg for death's embrace while women will kneel and weep in his presence. A sudden rustle triggers his instincts. Are Loder's hounds still hot on his trail? A hooded shadow emerges. Lin Tian lunges instantly, refusing to give the intruder a single second. The figure stumbles, tripping in panic. Lin Tian freezes mid-strike, paralyzed with shock. It's another goblin. Impossible. His jaw drops as the creature actually speaks, expressing herself with hauntingly human-like intelligence. He remains lethal and alert. This girl was lurking. Then a shocking realization strikes him like lightning. Why does she look feminine? Legend says goblins are strictly male, forced to pillage other species for reproduction. This biological anomaly trembles, sobbing and pleading for her life as she cowers before him. She claims she's just fetching water, but suspicion gnaws at him. How can a monster speak so fluently? He scans her status. What he sees makes his blood turn to ice, a game-changing secret revealed. Pairing with a female of his own kind triggers evolution into a goblin god. Lin Tian is floored. This girl is his golden ticket. With her, he'll gain the god-tier power needed to crush his foes. Terrified, she explains her cruel master sent her for water. Failure means a brutal, endless beating. She's trapped in a nightmare. Suddenly she goes rigid, realizing this goblin is actually talking back. Lin Tian tries to soothe her, warning that her loud wailing will lure Loader's group straight to them. Her eyes widen in disbelief. "Can you truly understand me?" she whispers, her voice trembling with hope. He confirms it. He recalls that standard goblins are mindless brutes, incapable of complex speech. She's been an outcast in her tribe. Overwhelmed by his unexpected gentleness, she calls him kind. Tired of the abuse, she invites him to her village. Lin Tian's eyes gleam. Another opportunity for power. A tribe nearby. He's intrigued but keeps his guard up. This could be a trap. Safety is priority one, but his hunger for vengeance demands he seize every ounce of strength possible. He agrees to follow. Secretly, he's been hunting for loyal subordinates to build his own unstoppable army. They trek toward the village. As they approach, the local goblins spot the stranger and start buzzing. They jeer from the shadows, mocking his human attire and labeling him a pathetic, freakish creature. This is the perfect stage for his master plan. Masking his intent, he declares he's here to join. "Bring me your leader." The mob erupts in laughter, claiming the chief doesn't meet with low-life trash. Furious, the girl defends him, barking that he isn't like the others and deserves a fair audience. A booming voice shatters the commotion, demanding to know why the entire tribe is wasting time. The goblin chief emerges, radiating a terrifying pressure. Lin Tian's eyes ignite. The big boss has arrived. "Who dares disturb my peace?" the leader roars. Lin Tian peeks at his stats and reels he's high level. The chief towers over the girl, questioning her about the stranger. She stammers that he's a homeless wanderer. The chief grins, thanking her, before cold-bloodedly ordering the tribe to slaughter Lin Tian on the spot. Feast on his flesh. As the horde lunges, Lin Tian draws his blade, flashing the cold steel. He offers a lethal bargain: let him stay, and he'll forge a deadly arsenal for the entire tribe. He holds the key to evolution. Intrigued, the chief barks a command to halt. The leader looms over him. Craving absolute dominance, he senses no deception from Lin Tian and demands to know what arsenal he can forge. Lin Tian ignites his master plan. With enough raw ore, he promises to craft a deadly iron armory for them. Soon, he'll forge god-tier gear. He baits the chief, claiming these daggers will slaughter any beast in their way. And humans too. The tribe goes wild, dreaming of endless feasts and finally leaving the shadows of the forest. They even crave elf meat. The chief gambles on Lin Tian, giving the tribe 3 days to scavenge for iron. If Lin Tian fails to deliver, it's game over for him. Then the chief's cold gaze shifts to the girl. She's his collateral. If he flops, they both get axed. With the ultimatum set, the chief stalks away. Lin Tian pulls the girl close, cursing the chief's heartless nature for sacrificing his own kin so easily. He needs these weapons to stall for time and grind for power. Phase 1 of his mission begins now. Accompanied by his new ally and a goblin squad, Lin Tian ventures out to hunt for that precious ore. Suddenly, the girl collapses, pleading for a break after their grueling day-long trek through the wilderness. Enraged, a goblin grunt boots her down. He snarls insults at her face, threatening her life if the ore isn't found. She begs for mercy, swearing silence. But the pack joins in, relentlessly mocking her and raining down blows. They laugh at her pain. Suddenly, a rock flies through the air, sniped directly at the lead bully's head. Stepping up for his friend, Lin Tian snaps. He reminds them they're here for resources, not a senseless brawl. He laid out the rules clearly. If they value their pathetic lives, they'll start following his orders immediately. One wrong move and his blade will taste blood. The goblins shudder, retreating from the girl in pure terror. Terrified of his future armory, they hiss empty threats, claiming the chief will execute him once the job's done. Dread sinks in. They're right. Completing the task won't save him. He's just a ticking clock waiting to expire. He glances at the girl as a secret memory resurfaces. Mating with her could evolve him into a divine goblin. Seeing her tremble, he gently whispers her name, Lula. He draws closer, trying to soothe her shattered nerves. Lin Tian cradles Lula's face, offering her a choice. Join him, and he'll become her ultimate shield against this world. He promises her safety food and a real home. Determined to evolve, he swears to never break his word. Right now, they're powerless. He needs her help to ascend. Lula's eyes light up at the hope of escaping abuse. She wonders how. Lin Tian drops the bombshell. Starting a family together is the secret key to his awakening. Once he's powerful, her safety is guaranteed. Flushed with shyness, Lula confesses she's never been with a male before. Lin Tian smiles softly, comforting her. If she trusts him, he'll handle everything from here on out. The tension breaks as Lin Tian steals a kiss. He gently clasps her hands, turning their destiny into a game. Eager to aid his rise to power, Lula surrenders, completely begging him to start their new legacy together. As they bond, the system alerts the Isekai traveler. They are destined to bring 7 heirs into this world. His level cap shatters. The breakthrough grants him +9 attack, boosting his combat potential to insane new heights. With +100 HP and 10 defense, Lin Tian's body undergoes a massive muscular transformation. He checks his stats. Buffed and hyped, he realizes this wasn't just a level up, it was a total physical overhaul. The priest is toast. His old rags rip as he discards them. He pulls Lula close, declaring she's officially under his personal protection. He's a man of his word. Lula gazes at him with pure devotion, but sudden piercing screams shatter the moment. The ore hunting squad is under fire. A massive mana-infused wolf lunges from the brush, pinning a terrified goblin down. As a goblin flees with loot in hand, Lin Tian realizes they found the ore, but also a death sentence. Keeping Lula safe, he charges toward the carnage. The beast's jaws are inches away from snapping the goblin's neck. Powered by his new stats, Lin Tian lunges. His dagger carves through the wolf's throat, saving both goblin and ore. The goblin stands paralyzed in shock. With one savage calculated blow, Lin Tian drops the apex predator stone dead. The beast's mana flows into him. Lin Tian gives the shaken goblin a nod for actually securing the iron. The quality is top tier. He demands more. Once they regroup at camp, the real forging process finally begins. With their bags heavy with ore, the crew treks back. As they enter the village, all eyes are on them. The tribe waits in tense silence, eager for weapons, and shocked that anyone actually made it back alive. Jaw-dropping silence fills the air as the goblins witness Lin Tian's craft. He actually forged a lethal blade on the spot. With a savage swing, our MC proves his weapon's bite, showing it can slice through even the fiercest forest predators. He presents a cold iron spear to the wide-eyed tribe. Suddenly, one of the small monsters can't contain his absolute hype. Now, buffed from the hunt, the goblin reveals the legendary truth. Lin Tian soloed a magic wolf to save them all. Seizing the moment, Lin Tian hoists the spear high. He asks the tribe if they're ready for this game-changing power. The crowd erupts in cheers, but the chief feels threatened, slamming his staff down to silence the madness and take control. The priest admits the boy spoke the truth. The chief offers fake praise, acknowledging Lin Tian's god-tier forging skills. However, the old fox isn't ready to let a new hero rise. He prepares a brutal ultimatum for our protagonist right then. If he wants to stay, he must prove his worth. The mission: forge 50 lethal spears in just 48 hours. Impossible. As the chief sets this insane deadline, the goblins start murmuring. They realize their leader is acting just as cruel as humans. While they compare him to their enemies, Lin Tian smirks. Everything is going according to plan. He's winning their hearts. Shocking the chief to his core, our MC delivers the full arsenal exactly on schedule. Lin Tian announces the job is done. The tribe goes ballistic with joy. Seeing him conquer such an impossible feat has made him a legend in their eyes. The chief grinds his teeth while praising him. Then the priest declares a massive meat feast to welcome their newest member. The monsters descend into a literal feeding frenzy. It's official, Lin Tian is in, and he's playing them like a fiddle. Amidst the celebration, Lua brings Lin Tian a special cut of roasted meat. She claims it's a direct gift from the priest. Accepting the honorary meal from the leader, our boy takes a bite. Little does he know the trap has been set. Suddenly, agony strikes. Lin Tian's world spins as the sickness takes hold. A panicked La rushes to his side in terror. As Lin Tian gasps for air, the chief looms over him like a predator. La completely freezes, sensing the dark aura. The snake-like leader scoffs at Lin Tian's stupidity. He knew the boy was hungry for power and had to be erased. He snarls that challenging his throne only leads to a grave. The traitor then grabs Lua, using her as a helpless shield. Mocking Lin Tian's weakness, the priest asks if he truly cares for this girl. The psychological torture has only just begun. Realizing Lua is his weakness, the chief forces him to watch. He's going to make Lin Tian witness something truly horrific. Labeling the girl a traitor, he decides to make her a bloody example. It's time for a ruthless lesson in power. This execution will ensure Lin Tian never flexes again. As the chief raises his claws, it looks like total game over. Death looms close, but Lin Tian moves like lightning. In a split second, he strikes back, severing the chief's momentum instantly. He saves Lua in a heartbeat, leaving the crowd stunned. The once cocky leader turns ghost white, unable to process the situation. How could a poisoned man move with such lethal speed? Lin Tian just smirks, throwing the old man's arrogance back. He calls the priest a brainless fool for falling into his trap instead. The hunter has officially become the prey tonight. Lin Tian reveals he saw the poison coming and played along to bait the snake out. The chief realizes he's cooked. Fury consumes the old man bleeding, and desperate, he launches a final suicidal charge. But Lin Tian is already perfectly poised. With elite agility, Lin Tian dances around the strike and lands a punishing blow. The chief's life is flickering out fast. With his razor-sharp dagger glinting, Lin Tian prepares the finishing move. He dodges the old man's desperate swing with ease. One clean counter and the traitor's head rolls. Just like that, the old goblin's reign of terror is permanently deleted. As the head drops, absolute chaos erupts among the goblins. They tremble as Lin Tian takes a cold step forward. They cower in sheer terror as his shadow looms over them. Then he delivers the words that change their destiny forever. Lin Tian proclaims himself the new king. He promises to lead them on a bloody conquest against elves and humans. Raising his blood-stained blade, he vows that under his rule, they will feast on meat until the end of time. The monsters go feral with hype. Lin Tian then points to the chief's corpse, a final gruesome gift for his new soldiers. The starving horde swarms the fallen traitor, devouring him instantly. Lin Tian watches the carnage with cold, unwavering resolve. This coup is just the opening act of his vengeance. Next, he'll force the elves to breed a superior army. But a pair of hidden eyes is watching. A stunning elf princess spies from the shadows, paralyzed by the scene. She's mortified. Nearby, a macabre tree structure displays hung goblins, a grim warning to anyone foolish enough to trespass here. A young elf girl beams with relief as her princess returns. This mysterious spy is actually elven royalty herself. The girl asks for patience, but the princess is frantic. She has a report that will shake their entire world. Kasana bursts into her mother's private chambers, desperate to report the eerie disturbances within the magical eastern forest. She stumbles upon a scandalous sight. The voluptuous queen is being shamelessly pampered by a squad of male elves. Mortified, Kasana freezes. Her mother is playing games while a literal apocalypse looms, but before she can retreat, the queen halts her, demanding to know what's so urgent that it warranted such a chaotic entrance. Kasana reports the goblin movement, but the arrogant queen just scoffs, completely unimpressed by the supposed threat. Why stress over trash-tier creatures? Kasana counters, mentioning a massive black bear found slaughtered in the woods. Goblins couldn't have taken down such a beast. Plus, she adds that a mysterious youth recently ended their old leader. She suspects a deeper connection, but her mother's only concern is the fact that a new chief has arisen. Dripping with elitism, the queen refuses to take the little monsters seriously. She commands Kasana to lead an elite squad and clean up this minor nuisance immediately. Don't slaughter them all at once, the queen purrs, caressing a male elf while radiating pure, lethal beauty. Apparently, goblin hearts are top-tier ingredients for potions. Kasana, cringing hard, nods in silent frustration. She agrees to keep some alive. The naughty queen then makes an awkward offer to her daughter. As a reward for her grind, she offers Kasana a visibly shaken Kasana retreats, promising to scout the shadows tonight and report any suspicious movement. Back at the camp, war plans ignite. Using twigs as markers, the goblins map out their lethal strike. 30 tree-bound dwellings hide within the forest of 1,000 wonders. Lin Tian smirks, satisfied with the intel. Lin Tian motivates his top warrior with a dark prize, 2 elven captives, once the forest is conquered. The goblin literally trembles with greed. Hyped by the promise, the lieutenant rushes to mobilize the war party. Weapons are sharpened as the master plan unfolds. Intel suggests 2 elves dwell in every single treehouse. That's 70 targets total, including 10 miners. Craving ultimate power, Lin Tian declares a new era for his tribe. They're invading the magical forest. The goblins go wild as Lin Tian prepares to grind for massive stat boosts. Speed, power, and broken skills, everything is up for grabs. Alongside, Lua Lin Tian begins a relentless hunting spree. They stack buffs while hunting in packs, using lethal coordination to topple beasts twice their size. Sharing the spoils, their devour skill feast begins. They swallow abilities whole, skyrocketing the tribe to level 18. Their total power hits 250. Lin Tian crunches the numbers. The average elf only has 200. On paper, these goblins are now the apex predators. But invading elven soil is still a massive gamble. Playing it safe, Lin Tian triggers a system simulation to predict every move of the upcoming bloodbath. The simulation boots up. Lin Tian marches his beefed-up army toward the elven borders, feeling absolutely invincible. Victory seems certain until his ego blinds him. The goblins march blindly into a perfectly timed lethal ambush. Snared and slaughtered, the tribe falls. The elf matriarch captures Lin Tian, hanging him as a gruesome warning. It's a message to all monsters. The system confirms the cold truth. Lin Tian's control was a total illusion. He was a puppet in their hands from the start. Stunned, he refuses to accept this devastating failure. Reality hits, they've been watched since day one. The elves knew every move before they even made it. Now, in survival mode, Lin Tian orders his troops to weaponize their senses and sniff out the spy. He scans the tree line, suddenly detecting a faint magical ripple hiding among the ancient oaks. Moonlit shadows betray the spy. Clueless she's already been compromised, the princess attempts a frantic retreat into the woods. She's desperate to alert the matriarch of the strike, but shimmering arrows suddenly tear through the night, cutting off her escape. A bolt strikes true. Kasana lets out a blood-curdling shriek, her mind reeling as she realizes the trap has finally snapped shut. She collapses instantly. The royal spirals into a panic, feeling the arrow's paralytic poison freeze her entire body. Just like her fallen troops, she's helpless. While goblins hail Lin Tian's skill, he carefully watches her body's toxic reaction. He wonders if the poison is glitching her system. With a smug grin, Lin Tian taunts her, calling the capture embarrassingly easy. Everything is unfolding flawlessly. He tells a trembling Kasana her timing was impeccable, then barks out the next phase of his plan. The command is simple: bring the captives home. Back at camp, a goblin goon demands they douse the elf prisoner in water. The big boss has arrived. Kasana looks utterly drained as Lin Tian towers over her with a cold, terrifying presence. Goblin essence acts as a lethal sedative and aphrodisiac, leveling the playing field against elven foes. Bound and trembling with rage, the elven princess demands an explanation for this unprecedented defiance. She scoffs at these vermin, who dared to chain royalty while plotting an assault on her sacred homeland. Kasina warns that their survival was a gift from her mother, and if harmed, the elves will rain hellfire. With a chilling smirk, Lin Tian tosses the royal heir to the dirt like common trash. He finds her mercy narrative hilarious, pointing out the massive contradictions between her claims and her soldiers' reality. Her warriors may be simple-minded, but their accounts don't lie, unlike the high and mighty princess standing before him. They had the power to exterminate his kind, yet didn't. He smells a sinister motive behind that supposed kindness. Declaring checkmate, Lin Tian silences her. Tonight his tribe marches to uncover the dark secrets of the elven woods. The protagonist orders his troops to divide the spoils, letting them consume the essence of their fresh captives. The monster captain eyes the royal prisoner, wondering what cruel fate his master has in store for the princess. Reality finally shatters Kasina's pride. She begs for a mercy she never intended to give her enemies. After subduing the princess, Lin Tian's power skyrockets as he awakens tear-shattering new abilities. Deep in the elven city, the insatiable queen demands more, her subjects collapsing from pure exhaustion. They plead for a reprieve, explaining that their precious performance-enhancing elixirs have completely run dry. The depraved monarch seethes, regretting they didn't harvest more goblin test subjects during the last raid. As her drained servants recover, the matriarch realizes Kasina hasn't returned from her hunt yet. A soldier suggests a dual mission: rescue the princess and slaughter more goblins to replenish their vital stocks. Eager to level up her warriors, the matriarch prepares to personally lead a strike force into the forest. Sudden movement shadows the entrance. A cold voice echoes, "The princess won't be coming home tonight." Pure terror grips the queen as Lin Tian emerges from the void, letting fly a volley of arrows. An elven guard takes a shaft through the skull, before the queen barely deflects the next strike. Surrounded by his elite squad, Lin Tian reveals he holds the life of her daughter in his hands. With a twisted grin, the protagonist tells the queen they're about to become one big happy family. Defiant to the end, she draws her blade, demanding to know what he's done to her child. The queen lunges in a blind rage, but Lin Tian effortlessly dances away, revealing her tribe is already checkmated. Suddenly, the stunning matriarch's limbs lock up her body, betrayed by a potent paralytic agent. Lin Tian explains those arrows were dipped in concentrated goblin toxin, the ultimate elven weakness. He warns her not to struggle as the realization of her absolute defeat washes over her. Mentioning their secret tonics, he exposes the elves' plan to use his kind as mere biological tools. Staring at the edge of his blade, she finally recognizes the true king of the lowly goblin tribe. Kasina's warnings ring in her head as the horrific screams of her falling tribe echo through the canopy. Their time is up. Lin Tian drags the matriarch to the ledge to witness her burning world. He forces her to watch the carnage, stating it's finally time to discuss their new partnership. The queen watches in horror as her people wail, begging for a salvation that isn't coming. Desperate and broken, she screams at him, demanding to know why he's ravaging her village. Lin Tian coldly retorts that the power balance has shifted. The monsters are now the masters. He reminds her of the years they spent slaughtering goblins whenever they felt superior. This isn't just a battle, it's the inevitable bloody harvest of 1,000 years of revenge. He needs a legion of hybrid warriors, and the elves are the perfect vessels for his evolution. The proud queen finally breaks, dropping her pride and begging for the lives of her kin. She bows before her new master, offering herself to save what's left of her bloodline. To ensure survival, the elves agree to bear the next generation of super goblins. Back at the village, Kasina's soul shatters when she sees her invincible mother in chains. The queen can only offer a tearful apology, admitting they were blind to the rising shadow. To keep the elven bloodline alive, she admits every girl has already been tainted by the horde. Comforting her daughter, the matriarch reveals their only hope is surviving within this monstrous tribe. Lin Tian promises the royals safety and 3 meals, but his mercy comes with a price. If they double-cross him, he won't hesitate to end them with brutal efficiency. Prioritizing her people's survival, the matriarch accepts his terms and gets the message. The queen then makes a final plea, begging him to protect all her elven children. Suddenly, Lua appears struggling to manage the chaotic swarm of elven and goblin hybrids. Lin Tian realizes the queen's desperation stems from the elves' legendary infinite maternal love attribute. He grants her request, putting the matriarch in charge of the nursery to strengthen his future army. He knows these high-tier infants will eventually provide the tribe with overwhelming combat power. Focused on the grind, our protagonist pulls up his system interface to check his latest stats. Noticing the massive attribute gains, he wonders if his hidden potential has finally reached its peak. The conclusion is simple: more offspring directly translates into a massive boost to his personal power. Surveying his growing domain, Lin Tian sees everything falling perfectly into place for his grand design. He's now confident that his current strength is enough to dismantle Lord Loder's forces piece by piece. As more hybrid infants arrive, the elven mothers recoil in horror, desperate to escape their monstrous children. Our MC asks Lua for a status report, and she confirms 30 to 40 new births already. Suddenly, Kasana appears in absolute agony, her labor pains reaching a breaking point. Panic flares as Lin Tian rushes to the princess who is carrying his most important heir. The queen hovers over her daughter, terrified for both Kasana and the unborn firstborn child. Desperate, the matriarch begs Lin Tian to intervene since the princess has never faced this before. Worried for his bloodline, Lin Tian takes charge and commands Lua to assist with the delivery. Seeing him step in, the matriarch questions if a goblin truly understands elven anatomy and birth. Lin Tian snaps at her to be quiet, reminding them that these children are his own flesh. With surgical precision, he delivers the infant successfully, ensuring the princess survives the ordeal. Lua praises his skills, but their moment of relief is shattered by screams from another cage. Lin Tian finds the goblins in a frenzy, as another elven mother faces a terrifying complication. Dagger in hand, he storms the cage to stop the goblins from using force against the mother. He shuts them down instantly, warning that any goblin who harms a recovering female is dead. To ensure loyalty, he doubles the elven fruit rations, shocking everyone with his tactical kindness. Stunned, the matriarch realizes Lin Tian is nothing like the mindless monsters she once feared. Using his simulation skill again, Lin Tian maps out his path to ultimate revenge against his enemies. The system shows a future where he conquers the elves, producing a generation of elite goblin warriors. With his village numbers skyrocketing, Lin Tian decides it's finally time to hunt down Loder. He infiltrates Brighttown solo, where the system presents 3 high-stakes paths for his mission. Each choice carries a different rating, forcing him to calculate the best possible ending for his revenge. Though his raw stats match Loder's, he knows underestimating the Lord's elite companions would be fatal. Lin Tian locks in option 1, choosing to raid the enemy camp entirely on his own. He nearly secures the kill, but a legendary human sword saint suddenly appears to save Loder. The sword saint diffs him instantly, and the human group vanishes back to the capital forever. Realizing there's zero chance to survive that encounter, Lin Tian knows he must change his strategy. He wonders why a top-tier powerhouse is guarding such a backwater town, fueling his urgency. To survive the coming storm, he must max out his attributes immediately and take action. He informs Lua he's heading into human territory for a few days, leaving her in command. The queen worries for his safety, but Lin Tian is focused on his blood feud with humanity. "I can cloak you in shadows," the matriarch offers. Lin Tian smirks, knowing this stealth spell is his winning ticket. Surprised by the assist, Lin Tian admits he never expected the queen to care about his skin. "Don't flatter yourself," she counters. "If you drop, my people lose their commander." Her children's lives hang in the balance. Only his survival guarantees the tribe's safety. Luna and the queen vow to protect the tribe, while Lin Tian infiltrates the bustling Bright City. Ironclad patrols swarm the streets. The city is under total lockdown, and Lin Tian feels the heat. Is the Sword Saint already here? He's been hunting for intel since dawn, but finds nothing. Zero whispers of her name, yet the heavy security feels sus. Suddenly, a surging crowd catches his eye. He tracks them to the ranking board where Loder claims the top spot. Lin Tian's gaze turns icy. Did a rank boost make Loder OP? Lin Tian needs leads fast, or his entire plan is cooked. His revenge is slipping away. Suddenly, a boisterous voice from a nearby tavern shouts about buying rounds. A promise to drink until they drop makes Lin Tian stop cold. That voice, he enters the fray. There's Loder, acting like he's untouchable. Beside him, a lackey starts glazing his heroic deeds. He brags about Loder and Freya slaying a 4-armed beast, and the girl jumps on the hype train. She calls their captain legendary, but a rival from Team Boshi scoffs at the cringe flex. Bragging about a trash mob is embarrassing, the rival spits. Loader's buddy immediately loses his cool. "Shut up and beat it," the buddy yells. The rival claps back, itching for a playground scrap. "I'll still fold you," the rival barks. The barkeep snaps, warning them that dragon mating season is here. The beasts are snatching livestock. If they're so elite, they should go handle the real threat. Lin Tian listens intently from the shadows. The owner warns that a dragon siege is looming. Without royal reinforcements, the city is doomed. A wave of darkness is about to swallow them whole. Loader smirks confidently. "Relax, I've summoned my master, the legendary Sword Saint herself. Together, they'll crush the horde." Silence hits the room. The Sword Saint is actually coming. The crowd erupts in cheers. If Loader pulls this off, he'll be crowned the city's ultimate savior. Loader orders a round for everyone, a massive pre-game party for the Saint's epic arrival. And for the dragon extinction, Lin Tian sees his chance. Chaos is the perfect cover for him. He slips away to prepare. Loader spots him leaving and wonders who'd dodge free booze. "Hey, leaving so soon?" Loader shouts. Lin Tian doesn't even bother slowing his pace. "Pass," he replies coldly. "We'll have plenty of time for reunions in the future." Loader is baffled. Who skips a free round? Meanwhile, the city is decked out for the Saint. Anticipation peaks as Loader finds his master deep in meditation within the temple walls. He reports the dragons are closing in. An aerial assault on the city is imminent. She grips her blade and rises. "Tell me," she demands, "is the task I gave you complete?" 10 dragon-hunting ballistas are ready, Loader confirms. She warns him that failure is not an option. One mistake and his name is mud. Outside, the awestruck crowd trembles before her majestic aura. She gazes at the masses. "This is a pivotal moment, Loader," she muses with sharp eyes. "Stop staring and gear up," she barks. Suddenly, a massive shadow falls over the city. A behemoth soars above a victim dangling from its talons. Absolute panic ignites the city streets. Her eyes narrow into slits. A scout dragon. The main horde is right behind it. She leads the squad to the ramparts. Elsewhere, a frantic goblin scout sprints to Lin Tian. "The dragons have arrived," he squeaks. The city walls are already crawling with soldiers. Lin Tian smirks coldly. "Let them clash. We'll strike when the chaos reaches its peak." A true tactician, he and his elite goblin squad settle in to watch the opening act. Dragons dive-bomb the city, but a blinding streak of light suddenly shreds through a beast's wing. Loader and Freya gape at the ballista's raw power. The Sword Saint stands ready for war. He flaunts the crossbow, checking if the guards are ready. The squad locks in. They unleash the master's gear. Sky beasts plummet as bolts tear through their scales. Victory roars erupt, but then a soul-crushing pressure chills the air. Something huge approaches. Citizens collapse in agony, heads throbbing. Loader and Freya's faces turn ghost white. Right on cue, the golden-purple matriarch descends. The guards are paralyzed by pure terror. Those bolts won't scratch her. Her eyes burn with a lethal rage aimed at the capital. The Dragon Mother charges her core, unleashing a hellish inferno against the city's defenses. The hunters abandon their posts, screaming in panic. They know the city is doomed. Suddenly, a massive glyph glows. A voice cuts through the chaos, commanding everyone to stay calm. The Saint steps up, challenging the matriarch solo. "Hold the line," she commands the troops. She draws her blade, conjuring a colossal shield. This isn't just a simple defense, though. It repels every beast in sight. High above, Lin Tian tracks the chaos with a sharp gaze. Biding his time, he's unfazed by her blocking that fire. He knew she had the juice. Given her stats, it's expected. Still, the beast's raw, aggressive power is genuinely impressive. Scanning her profile, Lin Tian sees why she neutralized that blast like it was nothing. He admits Loader's master is a beast. He's just glad he isn't the one facing her today. He notes the Dragon Queen lacks the Saint's power, but her tanky endurance is top tier. Landing hits won't end this quickly. With the Saint occupied, Lin Tian sees his opening. This is the ultimate window. His eyes burn with resolve. It's finally time for payback. He signals the goblins. "Execute the plan. Infiltrate the city now." With dragons swarming the capital, everyone misses the shadow creeping up from behind. These flyers are a headache, but Loader credits his survival to his master's elite training. He feels like a true dragon slayer. Suddenly, a panicked citizen rushes him screaming. Goblins are inside, but the captain's squad is still stuck battling the winged terrors. Loader thinks they're idiots, but surely not dumb enough to raid the capital directly. A woman sprints by with goblins on her heels. Loader finally realizes they're in deep trouble. Stepping up, Loader sends his team against the dragons, while he and Freya hunt the runts. A goblin spots them and flees. Loader roars at them to stay unaware it's a trap. Boom! Loader and Freya fall right into the trap. Everything is going exactly to plan. His allies rush to help, but a wall of goblins keeps them from reaching the captain. Out of nowhere, Lin Tian manifests in the fray. The warriors don't even see him coming. Loader screams a warning, but it's too late. Lin Tian deletes 2 guards instantly. Blade flashing, Lin Tian wreaks havoc. Loader and the Saintess watch in horror as their team falls. With insane speed, our boy casually approaches and starts roasting his 2 captives. He mocks their pathetic capture. Loader fumes with rage as he sees his brothers-in-arms decimated. Loader vows to purge every last goblin. Lin Tian shuts him up with a swift kick. He commands the goblins to drag the duo through the sewers. Get them out of here. The rest of the horde follows him to the walls to crush the distracted beast riders. The saint hears the city's screams. She's stunned that goblins chose this chaotic moment to strike. The shadow beast taunts the master she's cooked. Meanwhile, the saint and dragon queen clash. They're locked in a lethal dance. The saint flexes her might, mocking the dragon queen's struggle. Struggling already, the master taunts before hammering her with a devastating high-pressure strike. Dominating the fight, the saint calls it, "It's over." She just hopes her warriors held their own. She prays they cleared the threats. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through the outer wall. The chaos distracts the saint. The dragon queen smirks. Those little monsters have impeccable timing. Spotting an opening, the dragon queen vanishes into the sky. She leaves the saint with a chilling vow of vengeance. This failure leaves the legendary warrior seething. She can't believe that primeval monster actually slipped through her fingers. Consumed by fury, the savior makes a blood oath. Soon she'll rain destruction upon Dragon Island until nothing remains. As the dust settles, the saint descends. She's disgusted to find Loader's elite squad utterly humiliated by mere goblins. A trembling survivor delivers the devastating news. Both their captain and Ifreya have been dragged off by the monsters. The Sword Saint is floored. How could a hero's party fall to bottom-tier trash like that? These weren't normal runts. They fought with the ferocity of great races, and even Loader couldn't stand his ground. The savior prepares to storm the forest. She won't let her warriors rot in some filthy goblin den. She vows to wipe every green skin off the map. Suddenly, a desperate citizen grabs her, begging for mercy. The people plead for her to stay. Without her protection, the city is defenseless against the next monster wave. They scream for their rights as citizens. The Empire's shield cannot abandon the many for the sake of a few. The saint hesitates, then relents. Protecting the masses is her true burden, even if the heroes remain lost. Victory cheers erupt in the goblin village. Their king has returned and he didn't come back empty-handed. The tribe watches in awe as Lin Tian drags high-ranking humans through the mud. The tables have truly turned. The holy maiden is tossed aside like trash. A goblin soldier barks a warning. One wrong move means death. Loader spots captured elves and shudders. Ifreya realizes this isn't a random pack. A true monster genius is leading them. Ifreya struggles against the paralyzing toxins. Her divine blood is fighting back, slowly, purging the filth from her veins. A shadow looms over her. Lin Tian sneers, mocking the saintess for her pathetic attempt at a quick recovery. Terror grips her heart. How does this beast know her name? And what dark fate does he have planned? With eyes full of ancient malice, Lin Tian moves in. He sinks his razor-sharp claws deep into Ifreya's flesh. Agony rips through her, and her screams echo. Loader watches in total despair, bound and useless against the brutality. The captain roars, begging the monster to stop. But challenging the Goblin King only invites a swift, violent response. A heavy blow silences Loader instantly. Bloodied but unyielding, he glares at Lin Tian with pure, unadulterated hatred. He warns the monster that the Sword Saint will bring holy fire. Lin Tian just smiles, cold and confident. To Lin Tian, the saint is just another target. He's already planning his hunt, waiting for her to walk into his trap. The Sword Saint will never find this place. Lin Tian turns to Kawang, entrusting him with the tribe's next generation. He orders the new warriors into the shadows to hunt. It's time to show the forest who truly rules. War is coming, and he needs to evolve fast. It's time for a little interrogation to sharpen his edge. Lin Tian crushes Loader's chest under his boot. He asks if the captain enjoys the thrill of torturing goblins. He recalls the pain from a past life. Loader just plays dumb, pretending he's some innocent noble protector. The Goblin King's patience wears thin. If the captain won't talk, Lin Tian will make his silence very expensive. A flash of steel in Loader's ear hits the dirt. The hero's screams of agony fill the camp. Loader spits blood, claiming they only kill monsters to keep humanity safe. He calls the goblins a cursed plague. Lin Tian laughs at the hypocrisy. He knows they only hunt his kind to farm experience points and stats. He exposes their dark secret. It's easier to slaughter prisoners than to actually save them, isn't it, hero? He asks how many innocents died just to fuel their greed. Loader's face pales as his facade finally cracks. The accusation hits like a physical blow. Even the exhausted Ifreya looks on in horror at the ugly truth. How could a lowly monster understand the inner workings of the hero's party? The realization is soul-crushing. Lin Tian embraces his nature. He's a monster, and unlike humans, he doesn't need to hide behind a mask. The lesson in true cruelty begins now. Broken and terrified, Ifreya begs Loader to do something, anything to save her. Tears stream down her face as she pleads for mercy. Loader can only watch his comrade's spirit start to shatter. Lin Tian sneers, promising to return every bit of pain they've dealt. This is just the opening act. He grabs the girl by the throat, forcing Loader to maintain eye contact. The real nightmare starts here. He tosses Ifreya to the hungry mob of goblins. He wants to see exactly how much holy power she has left. Loader's world collapses. He's forced to witness his friend's descent into hell, completely powerless to intervene. The horde swarms the holy maiden on command. One guard taps out his partner, taking over the watch for the night. The mission: keep her breathing. We see the sheer exhaustion on Avelia's face after enduring hours of relentless, brutal torture. Despite her agony, the guard scoffs that she's still functional exactly as the boss's strict orders specified. The captain begs his comrade to stay strong. Clinging to consciousness, the girl whispers back that the pain is manageable. Silence. The guard shuts the prisoner down, sneering that a piece of trash has zero right to speak in his presence. He crushes the man's head under his boot. Elsewhere, the elf queen cradles her newborn while questioning her daughter. She wonders if Lin Tian's grudge against humans is real. Hearing her mother's hesitation, the girl feels a cold wave of dread. Luya interjects, confirming that the boy's vow of vengeance is ironclad. He truly harbors a deep-seated hatred for all of humanity. Completely mesmerized, the queen notes his unwavering resolve and his refusal to let even the slightest insult go unpunished. To her, he's the most extraordinary goblin existence. Blushing hard, the elf lady can't help but admire his overwhelming dominance. It's a strange sensation, this growing addictive urge to be completely won over by his magnetic and powerful aura. Meanwhile, a scout reports major news to our main man. The second-generation elven hunters have finally made it back to base. They've arrived ahead of schedule, hauling a massive bounty of fresh kills on their backs for the tribe to feast upon. A breathless goblin reports their return, boasting level 33 stats that nearly rival the main character's own power. Intrigued, our hero questions their rapid return. Was the slaughter truly that efficient? The goblin confirms every local monster is dead. Pushing west, they witnessed massive goblins annihilating rival clans. Our protagonist demands to know which tribe fell victim. The Bloodfang tribe was being butchered, a scout explains. While scouting in separate units, they spotted several marked territories. All these invaders are oversized goblins. Fascinating. Snagging their commander would be a massive win for the anti-human resistance. Their plan against humanity needs this. Suddenly, the shackled human captain erupts in mocking laughter, labeling them absolute idiots. He taunts that Imperial Knights will soon obliterate them. Our hero retorts that silence would have kept the human forgotten. Goblins close in for the kill, but the protagonist reminds them another human captive remains. The captain's bravado instantly vanishes. Panic grips the captain as he begs for their plan. A goblin muzzles him, hissing that it is finally playtime. The goblin mocks the captain's fragile, soft skin, fueling his terror. Avelia remains frozen, forced to witness the nightmare. Hours later, the broken captain lies unconscious in the dirt. As darkness descends, a loyal follower questions Lin Tian's next move. Are they invading the giant goblin clan? Lin Tian confirms the raid, declaring the enemy leader will be his next prize. He christens them the Mad Sky Tribe. The monsters erupt in a wild frenzy, worshipping their lord's absolute authority and power. The new name echoes through the forest. An elf warns that the enemy's conquests prove their terrifying strength. Don't sweat it, our hero smirks. He is still hiding a trump card that will turn the tide of battle. Nearby, Avelia sits bound and exposed. Dawn breaks on the day of the great hunt. From a strategic vantage point, Lin Tian observes. It is time to test their might against the Bloodfang savages. This forest swarms with giant goblins, but he remains unfazed. Suddenly, the enemy commander emerges from the shadows. The subordinates tremble in fear. Impressive. This Bloodfang chieftain is a true high-ranking goblin hero. Our lead assesses his prey. Combat power is 900 weak. A small squad of 12 should easily overwhelm him. However, securing a live prisoner is tricky. Basic toxins won't drop a tank like this. A different tactic is required. Perhaps that binding spell Avelia cast could work. Lin Tian heads back to the Mad Sky Tribe to pay her a visit. A goblin skitters toward Lin Tian, reporting that the human is finally at her breaking point. The main character smirks, praising the creature for a job well done. The girl desperately pleads for death, sobbing that she will find absolution before her lord. Lin Tian stays silent, gently dabbing her bloody wounds with a warm cloth. Without looking back, she trembles and asks who is there. But when she catches sight of the protagonist, she recoils in horror, screaming for him to stay away. Convulsing with fear, she shrieks that she is losing it, calling him a demon while drowning in pain. Suddenly, the main character slaps her before pulling her into a tight embrace. He whispers that her torment is finally over. She sobs, asking if it is really true. He pulls back slightly, stating he is a man of his word. However, she still has one final choice to make regarding her faith. Confused, she asks what he means. He tells her to choose between her god or him. If she becomes his loyal pet, the endless agony will vanish forever. He murmurs this, while slowly stroking her hair like a prized possession. And she trem. Exquisite Evelia Lin Tian purrs, tracing her jawline. He claims her soul as her soul master, rechristening her with a simple name, Puppy. Sinking to all fours, Evelia barks her submission to her master. He then sweeps her up, heading toward a steaming warm well. After stripping her down, he begins her bath. Overwhelmed by the sensation, she whispers her absolute loyalty to him. Smirking, he continues the cleaning. Then he commands Evlia to manifest her legendary holy light imprisonment skill. Confused, she questions him. Once dried, he reveals an ancient tome, prompting her to ask if that is the cage. Evlia centers herself, chanting softly. Her form begins to hover as divine energy surges through her veins. Suddenly, a massive fortress of light erupts before them. Impressed, the main character leads her through their dungeon. Detecting their presence, the captain screams for Evlia to slay the main character and mend his broken body instantly. He scoffs, revealing she submitted by choice. The captain recoils. She is the Holy Church leader's highborn daughter. She would never break so easily. To prove it, the protagonist commands her to kneel and declare her devotion. Without hesitation, she drops to her knees with a radiant smile. Despair grips the captain as he lunges at the bars. Grinning through venomous spit, he snarls that the main character's defiance will cause the total extinction of all goblins. Goblins exist only to be slaughtered by humanity. Soon the Holy Church will purge every last one of them. Surprised by Evlia's true status, Lin Tian coolly thanks the captain for the valuable intel. He orders the guards to torment the captive. Then he signals Evlia to make their exit immediately. New objectives awaited. Leaving the dungeon, the main character announces his plan to conquer the Blood Prey tribe. Within their hidden lair, a scout informs the Blood Prey chief that their preparations are finally complete. Quaking with suppressed rage, the chief rises and declares a full-scale invasion of the southern territories. Enslave the elves and feast. The monstrous horde erupts in cheers, celebrating their leader's terrifying might. Suddenly, a cry rings out. An intruder has breached their perimeter, seeking the chief. He turns with a mocking sneer. Who let this trash inside? Stepping into the light, the protagonist reveals his heroic-level Blood Prey status. Armed with human-level intellect, he demands a parley. Whispers ripple through the crowd about him being a freakish mutant. He dismisses the claim, citing superior wit over mutation. Then he cuts the pleasantries. Time is of the essence. As the Mad Sky leader, he demands their chief's surrender. Kneel or perish. The chief wonders if this is the elf breeder. Admiring his genetic potential, the protagonist orders him to follow. The hero goblin scoffs at such stupidity. Roaring for silence, the beast seizes the main character's skull in one massive palm, hoisting him into the air. He mocks the protagonist's recklessness. Once the main character is dead, his entire tribe will fall under new management. The horde screams for blood. Unfazed, the main character sighs, realizing that words were indeed a waste of time. Had he not required a living captive, the Bloodfang chief would already be a corpse. In a blur of motion, the main character severs the goblin's hand. An agonizing shriek of despair rips through the air. Falling in agony, he orders his minions to slaughter the intruder. The bloodthirsty mob surges forward to seek revenge. Lin Tian snaps his fingers, summoning his hidden force. Instantly, a blade pierces through a Bloodfang warrior's heart. The Mad Sky elites flicker into existence, shedding their invisibility. The enemy ranks break out in panicked shouts. Confused by the silence, they are answered by a single phrase. Silent steps. The servant bellows the order. Eradicate every last Blood Prey goblin. Panic ignites as Mad Sky warriors flood the battlefield, overwhelming the opposition. They had walked right into his trap. The parley was merely a distraction to leave their defenses wide open. Realizing he's outclassed the chief attempts, a cowardly retreat, still howling about murdering the protagonist first. He makes one final desperate charge. Standing motionless with arms crossed, the main character simply whispers a name, Evlia. She invokes the Holy Light Prison. Radiant bars materialize instantly, locking the hero goblin in a shimmering cage. Impossible, a goblin wielding divine light magic. His confusion quickly curdles into a deep, burning hatred. Then comes the ultimate humiliation. Evlia kneels before the protagonist, calling him master as he offers his praise. He calls her a good girl, noting her power has skyrocketed since she pledged her soul to him. She bows in gratitude. Hours later, the hero goblin remains suspended in light chains, hurling curses at the protagonist. Lin Tian assigns him a new role as a breeding tool, while the former chief rots in heavy chains. Breaking him was a chore. Cleaning his blade, the main character concludes that this chief is no longer a threat. Stunned by the capture of a hero goblin, the captain wonders about Lin Tian's true power. Meanwhile, Lin Tian approaches Lu Jia. He instructs her to delegate the breeding tasks to the subordinates. Her only job now is total supervision. She hands Evelia's safety over to Luge, trusting the queen's care. Luge accepts the responsibility. He asks the elf queen for travel supplies to visit an old friend. She senses something suspicious. It's a high-stakes meeting, he insists. Knowing Luge's massive ego, this is a huge deal. Human armies are closing in fast. To survive, it's finally time to meet the Mother of Dragons. Dragon Island is 60 miles away. The ultimate shortcut, baiting a dragon into picking him up. Our hero litters the shore with bovine carcasses. The scent of fresh blood will lure a beast. He hides inside a carcass classic Star Wars style. Suddenly, a dragon swoops down, snatching the bait. The beast rockets toward Dragon Island. Upon arrival, it dumps the meat into a dark, terrifying pit. Miraculously, our boy isn't pulverized by the impact. He crawls out, covered in gore, but alive. This isn't just a snack for one. Now he just needs to locate the legendary dragon mother. Something smells off about this meal, a voice whispers. A majestic purple dragon emerges from the shadows. It recognizes him instantly. The infamous Goblin King who raided the Light Tribe territory recently. Trespassing in dragon territory is a death wish, but before he's devoured, he offers a daring deal. Amused, the beast finds his audacity hilarious. It shimmers, transforming into a stunning and powerful human form. Impress me, or your lunch, she smirks. He knows she craves vengeance against the Sword Saint. He proposes a lethal alliance. Even as a lowly monster, his courage against the saint impresses her. She's intrigued by this tiny rebel. Towering over him, her presence is absolutely suffocating and majestic. How could a goblin slay a saint simple unleash dragon chaos upon the Light Village first? She mocks the idea. What can a bunch of puny goblins actually contribute to a dragon war? Lifting his chin, she demands to know the master plan against that psychotic warrior woman. Brute force won't work. To win, they must shatter her mind and crush her iron will completely. She laughs, realizing the strategy. Use expendable goblins for sabotage without risking her precious dragonkin. It's a flawless trap. Do we have a deal? He asks. She finally nods, accepting the terms. A genius goblin is a rare find. She licks her lips, finding him surprisingly appetizing and clever. She offers a reward. Our hero freezes, realizing this dragoness is currently in heat. Big yikes. Noting his tiny size, she decides on a different prize. He definitely dodged a massive bullet there. She scans her options thoughtfully. Meanwhile, chaos is brewing back at the Sky Tribe base. Loader is bound in the village center, surrounded by elite goblin guards. He's been suffering for days. Rescue hasn't arrived. Panic sets in as he realizes he's stuck in this green-skinned nightmare forever. Goblins are short. If he can just reach higher ground, maybe he has a sliver of hope. Then terror strikes. A dragon descends. He screams for mercy, begging the goblins to release him. Nobody wants to be Dragon Breath Barbecue. Even the goblins freak out until they spot a rider. The beast lands heavily. The rider reveals himself. It's our hero, looking absolutely cold and legendary. "I'm back," he declares. The goblins stand frozen in awe as he tames the legendary predator. Cheers for Lin Tian erupt everywhere. Loader is speechless. Is this beast really just a goblin king? He prays for salvation. Back in the City of Light, elite knights gather at the capital. They salute the Sword Saint, but she skips the pleasantries. Time is a luxury they don't have. A rescue mission is urgent. Suddenly, the system alerts our hero. A brand new arc has begun. 3 choices: grind mobs, spawn troops, or skip 30 days. He eyes the risky time skip option. Skipping secures a month of peace from the Saint. He locks it in, gaining 20 points. Time accelerates. The system notes the corrupted forest no longer yields any experience points for him. Rewarded with 20 points and massive health boosts, a full month vanishes in a blink. Waking up, the skip is complete. Our hero rises, feeling the world has shifted around him. Skipping time feels surreal. Ding, the system congratulates him for finally hitting level 50. With 1,000 points bankrolled, his stats are cracked, but his true peak is still coming. Lua stormed in, screaming that the goblin newborns didn't make it. The tragedy crushed his spirit. Racing out with the goblin mother, he found elves cradling the lifeless bodies of fallen infants. Weeping over the small corpses, our hero demanded answers. He seized an elf desperate for an explanation. She stood clueless, as only 3 frail survivors remained, their lives hanging by a thin thread. Loader mocked them, cackling that these brainless idiots actually believed they could raise a legendary army. Sensing Loader knew the secret, the MC confronted him. Loader smirked, explaining the curse of power. High tiers struggle to reproduce. Pure power can't build empires. The MC coldly thanked Loader for the intel. Even though the truth came too late, he turned away, leaving the villain to his fate. He gifted Loader to the vengeful goblins, telling them to take their time. They happily obliged. Loader shrieked curses, promising to haunt him forever. But the MC's mind was already miles away. Without a new generation defeating the sword, Saint felt impossible. He needed a miracle to evolve fast. As he racked his brain for a solution, a massive dragon suddenly descended from the heavens. She nuzzled him like an oversized kitten, leaving him completely baffled by her sudden strange affection. The beast was undergoing a heat-induced transformation. For our MC, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Her shift was complete, a final miraculous parting gift, left by the mother dragon specifically for him. The dragoness grew bold, making him sweat. She pounced, pinning Lin Tian down with total thirst. Straddling him with a hungry look, she triggered a system alert. New achievement unlocked, massive stat boost. Recovering from that intense session, the protagonist realized she was way fiercer and thirstier than imagined. So this was dragon power. He was becoming a legend. Drinking her blood worked, but she wanted more. She reappeared behind him even more aggressive. She wasn't finished with him yet, not by a long shot. He screamed for mercy, begging her to handle her royal duties before coming back for another round. She had to share her blood with the tribe first. With a roar, she charged at them. The goblins panicked, thinking she was about to shred them. But this was their key to evolution. By the campfire, the evolved tribe rested. The dragon's blood worked wonders, but their journey wasn't over. Leaning against the sleeping dragon's paws, the MC marveled at the sheer strength surging through his veins. His entire tribe hit the heroic class, yet their total power still felt somewhat lacking. To truly dominate, they needed top-tier loot. He summoned the system interface to browse the premium shop. As a hero king, he needed overwhelming power to maintain control. Weakness was no longer an option. With 180 points banked, he could finally afford some high-end practical gear for war. He snagged an elemental crossbow, a compact weapon that fires deadly element-infused bolts from the shadows. Next, he bought unarmed defense for 80 points, allowing him to parry weapon strikes with bare hands. This survival skill was essential for his deathmatch against the Sword Saint. Purchase confirmed. Transaction complete. With new gear and skills in his inventory, the MC felt like a total boss. He needed a live target to test his new toys. Spotting Loader, a wicked idea formed. Loader's face paled, sensing impending doom. The MC smirked. "Congratulations, you're the perfect test subject." Loader trembled as Lin Tian prepared to showcase the terrifying might of the new heroic species. Within the magic forest, a human witch shrieked as pure chaos erupted. Her teammates just laughed. They were only interested in hunting dragons alongside the legendary Sword Saint. "The mother dragon is way above our pay grade," another added. "This mission should be easy." They planned to milk Loader's tip for glory. Suddenly the witch gasped, spotting a threat ahead. "Battle stations," she screamed. A massive spider dropped from the canopy, and the bloody skirmish began. Despite her arachnophobia, the archer ended the beast with a single cold-blooded arrow to the brain. "Just a level 3 pest," he bragged. But the warrior signaled for silence. Something worse lurked. A behemoth heroic-class goblin charged out, ready for absolute carnage. Found the leader, they smirked, drawing their blades. But they had no idea what was coming. Already tasting victory and hungry for all the glory, the lead warrior bellows the order for a full-scale charge. "Cover me," he yells as the beast's roar shakes the earth. But one knight suddenly begs the captain to hold back. This beast is his. After slaying mere goblins, he's finally ready to claim his very first heroic species kill. The captain nods, demanding a quick and clean. "Watch closely," he muttered, leveling his weapon. With a roar of the storm spear, the goblin was erased in one strike. He launched the spear into the monster's chest, aiming for its vitals. "Die, you filthy beast," he screamed. Time stood still. The goblin caught the lethal spear effortlessly, its cold gaze paralyzing them. This shouldn't be possible. The creature wound up its throw. "Shields up now," the captain roared. The spear crashed into the barrier's center. Kaboom! The explosion shattered the air as the spear punched through their defenses. The party stood there absolutely shell-shocked. Raw power alone nearly broke them. They needed range against this physical monster. The archer took aim, her fingers steady. Her arrow flew true, but before she could celebrate, a green fist punched a hole straight through her stomach. Turning in horror, she saw a cackling face. An assassin goblin. Her legs gave out as she collapsed. "Hold formation. Protect the archer," the swordsman barked. Amidst the chaos, the witch let out a blood-curdling scream. She pointed frantically. The captain looked and saw an entire army of specialized goblins tightening the noose around them. Screams echoed from the forest depths once more. But this time, it wasn't a trap, it was pure, unfiltered terror. The humans were truly desperate now. The goblins cheered, savoring their prey. One brute pointed at the witch, claiming her. He lunged forward, but another blocked him. "The chief wants them alive. All spoils belong to the tribe. One escaped on your watch. You get nothing," the four-armed freak roared, boasting about the mountain of humans he'd slain. "Might makes right," they hissed. Suddenly the air turned sour as a full-blown goblin rebellion ignited. They claimed the throne, demanding the tribe submit. "Big Brother is the undisputed apex here," one shouted. They chose their new king. After checking his reflection in a bloody blade, he ordered the prisoners back to camp. Rumors swept the village. Their heroes had returned with human captives. The tribe was in an absolute frenzy. Leading them was Gobu Tian. Nearby, our protagonist sat stoically while a trembling elf clung to his side. Could he still handle these monsters? Silence. Meanwhile, the four-armed beast hoisted the human captain into the air. "This one's my dinner," the beast drooled. But Lin Tian stepped forward, his voice cold. "Drop him. Now." The monster sneered at Lin Tian's small frame, flashing a repulsive grin. "You want this human? Fine. Give me one of your women instead. The girls shivered in terror. Lin Tian raised a hand, stopping him cold. Fury blazed in Lin Tian's eyes. Do you even realize who you're talking to? He hissed, radiating authority. The beast pointed at a red-haired goblin named Gobu Kwang. Kwang is the new alpha. You're finished. We follow him now. Lin Tian eyed the duo. So Gobu Kwang, are you the mastermind behind this little coup? If the redhead crushes the four-armed idiot, I'll forgive him, Lin Tian offered. The beast erupted in mocking laughter. Kwang obeys no one. He's the boss now, and your head is his first trophy, the traitor roared. Suddenly, a massive hand crushed the traitor's skull. Panic flared in his eyes as reality set in. It was Gobu Kwang. Before a word was uttered, crimson spray painted the dirt. Lin Tian and the elf watched speechless. As the traitor's corpse hit the dust, the tribe backed away in terror. The redhead knelt. Greetings, leader. Ever since my evolution, the world looks different, Kwang stated. I'm not a mindless fool like that trash. He respected his father Lin Tian, but he worshipped pure, unadulterated strength above all else. You killed the old chief to lead, so now I'll challenge you. At level 50, his stats were terrifying. Combat power, 1,200, Lin Tian smirked. The kid actually had the balls to challenge God. A fiery aura exploded from Lin Tian. 1,200, not bad, Kwang. Your growth is truly monstrous. But are you ready for this? Lin Tian's golden aura flared like a legend. The crowd began chanting Kwang's name. They screamed for him to usurp the throne and seize the women. Lin Tian simply closed his eyes unfazed. It seemed the seeds of betrayal had sprouted. But before the carnage began, Lin Tian had one question. Manifesting a blazing fireball, he issued an ultimatum. Any heroic species who still value their lives, step forward. Join me or be erased. The captain watched in awe, mistaking Lin Tian's divine power for a high priest's. This civil war was his golden ticket. If the leaders clashed, he could vanish in the chaos. If Lin Tian fell, he'd bolt. Slowly, the loyalists began filtering over to the protagonist's side. Kwang had crossed the Rubicon. Craving absolute dominance, he drew his blade and lunged with murderous intent. Lin Tian vanished, dodging effortlessly. The captain's face drained of color. The redhead was significantly stronger than before. Deep in the forest, Lin Tian acknowledges Gobu Kwang's talent before hoisting his blade. Suddenly, the steel erupts into a violent, scorching inferno. Brace yourself, Lin Tian warns. Panic surges through the redhead. He's never faced such a terrifyingly swift flaming weapon before. Realizing evasion is impossible, he charges headfirst, swinging his own blade to cleave right through the exploding fireball. Our hero grins, realizing this goblin is actually legit. Gobu Kwang lunges forward his heavy sword, letting out a primal roar. Despite being dwarfed by the massive beast, Lin Tian just scoffs. Kwang's devastating strike misses, cratering the earth below. The impact triggers a massive explosion. The human spectators tremble in fear, while the protagonist's goblin allies watch with bated breath. As the dust settles, Kwang freezes in pure terror. Lin Tian caught the blade with a single bare hand, casually complimenting his power. Still not enough, Lin Tian mutters. After negating the blow with his unarmed defense skill, he swiftly draws his high-tech crossbow. Kwang's pupils dilate as he stares down the barrel of death. Then a blood-curdling scream echoes through the dense forest. Ready for round 2, Lin Tian asks. Utterly broken, Kwang collapses to his knees, surrendering to his new master. Drenched in blood, Kwang's spirit is crushed, though Lin Tian admires his grit. Nearby, the traitorous goblins begin wailing for mercy. They shake violently, swearing eternal loyalty while groveling in the dirt. Lin Tian just glares, calling them nothing but pathetic cowards. As they plead for their lives, promising absolute obedience, Lin Tian ignores them and commands Gobu Kwang to rise. Avelia activates her healing magic to mend the fighter's wounds. Lin Tian admits the redhead actually has some serious backbone. Kwang's life is spared so long as he serves, but for the traitors, Lin Tian has zero mercy. The order is clear: eliminate the snakes. Grateful for the chance, Kwang vows to wipe them out immediately. Their pleas fall on deaf ears as Kwang pulverizes them. Lin Tian then commands the loyal ones to feast on the remains. Feast and grow stronger, he shouts. The loyal goblins erupt in cheers, celebrating their master's absolute dominance. The stunned captain realizes Loader messed with the wrong person. This wasn't just a monster, it was a god-tier threat. Approaching Loader's cross, Lin Tian offers a mock apology. Sorry, this probably wasn't the grand finale you expected. Did Loader truly believe those weaklings could rescue him? Lin Tian laughs at how incredibly naive the man was. Gnashing his teeth, Loader blames that useless sword saint who's apparently a pro at hiding when things get ugly. He descends into cowardly laughter, screaming that everyone is trash. Honestly, one thing about him is actually quite impressive. He hasn't fully snapped despite the crushing despair. The captain finally admits he vastly underestimated Lin Tian's cold-blooded nature. Don't get cocky, the captain warns. The sword saint will arrive once she slaughters the mother of dragons. Crouching low, Lin Tian asks a chilling question. Did you really think the dragons were attacking all by themselves? The MC's plan is working perfectly. The captain chuckles bitterly, realizing the entire city is being played like a fiddle. Having spilled all his secrets, the captain begs for a swift end. He's done being a pawn. Anything is better than Loder's pathetic fate. He pleads for death, while Lin Tian watches him with cold eyes. Wish granted, Lin Tian coldly replies. Suddenly, someone screams for the Sword Saint, and she jolts awake in terror. Bolting upright, she wonders what the emergency is. The dragons are gone, so where is her returning squad? The knight stammers, hesitating to speak. She snaps at him, and he reveals only one survivor managed to return. The rest were annihilated. Shocked, the Sword Saint leaps up, looking stunning even in her nightwear. Clad in full plate armor, she rushes to the infirmary. The lone survivor looks like he's stepped through hell. She demands answers about the fallen knights. The broken adventurer gasps that they were ambushed by a goblin pack. They have the heroic bloodline, he cries, begging her to rescue the others before it's too late. Fading fast, he warns her that these goblins are absolute freaks of nature. Then his world goes silent. The healer screams for him to stay conscious. Others scoff, refusing to believe mere goblins caused this much carnage. One knight rages, vowing to exterminate them all, regardless of bloodlines. But the Sword Saint commands him to halt. Dragon raids are spiking. If they strike now, she won't be able to defend the city by herself. She immediately mobilizes the army and calls for reinforcements to safeguard the City of Light from the shadows. Once prepared, she'll erase both the goblins and the Dragon Mother. A knight tries to argue against her caution. The mage asks the chilling question, will anyone survive? Suddenly, a new voice cuts through the bickering like a blade. Forget the reinforcements, he sneers. Overconfidence killed the Silver Blade, and you're repeating the same mistake. It's Kasumov, the legendary Death Knight captain. He demands they leave the goblin hunt and the rescue to him. The Sword Saint reports the entire squad's annihilation. Does this man honestly think he can solo this? He boasts of surviving 4 Titan warriors simultaneously. Even legendary bloodline goblins don't scare him. He claims they're no threat. Then, removing his mask, he reveals a hideous half-charred scar. Just wait for the good news, he scoffs. Meanwhile, our main character requests another system simulation. The system warns that Kasumov is coming for the village, predicting a potential bloodbath. Even with a win, the main character questions if Kasumov's raw power is truly that catastrophic. 3 paths appear: fortify, the village prep for war, or hunt Kasumov down first. Choosing violence, he accepts the hunt. The reward, 20 precious points. But first, who is this Kasumov? Suddenly, a maniacal laugh echoes through the village square. Loder is hyped for Kasumov's arrival, mocking the goblins because their time is finally up. This guy is a T-Tangent Slayer. The main character notices, Loder has absolute blind faith in this killer. What exactly are Titan warriors? Loder explains they're gene-modded monsters built for pure destruction. They can shred beasts with their bare hands. You're all cooked, Loder laughs, mocking their fear. The main character suspects Kasumov has tricks, while Loder screams that they'll all be torn apart. Lin Tian decides to play it smart. He needs a pawn to test Kasumov's limits first. Deep in the forest, Kasumov tracks the scent of blood. The woods are eerily silent. He finds the slaughtered Silver Squad and scoffs at the useless trash. The gore smells intoxicating. It fuels his bloodlust. He's ready to unleash pure, unadulterated chaos on his own terms. Faint screams pierce the air. He turns eyes narrowing and spurs his mount toward the sound. He finds a blonde woman trembling and exposed on the forest floor. "Who are you?" he barks. She turns and he freezes. It's Evlia sobbing and begging for her life. He's stunned, she's alive. Leaning in, he demands to know if Loder survived the carnage. Between sobs, she claims she escaped, but Loder is gone. "Where's the tribe?" he snarls. She points the way, trembling in fear. Kasumov grows wary as he charges toward the village. Evlia begs for help, but he leaves her in the dust. "Handle it yourself, woman," he yells. He's got work to do. His class grants massive buffs for solo kills and pure isolation. It's perfect. With Loder gone, the glory is all his. He prepares for a lethal ambush. Suddenly, a tripwire snaps. His horse screams and collapses, sending him flying into the dirt. Kasumov sticks the landing like a pro. He turns to see his attacker. And it's Evlia. "Why haven't you run?" he snarls. But Evlia raises her staff, casting Holy Light, critical strike. The blast hits him head on. As he staggers, she coldly reveals her master ordered his defeat. She strikes again with Sacred Impact, engulfing the area in thick purple smoke. Kasumov retaliates with Soul Devour. He grabs her hair, demanding to know who's brainwashed her. No answer. He licks her shoulder with a sickening grin. "Fine, I won't hold back anymore. Monsters are boring." He wants to skin her alive to stack his kill bonuses. "So that's why you came alone?" A calm voice interrupts. The main character finally steps out. Blade in hand, he stands behind the killer. "Your stats and gear, honestly, they're trash." He reveals Mortal Harvest, a skill that boosts crit damage by 90% on sneak attacks. Kasumov panics. How did a low-tier goblin disarm him in the blink of an eye? Evlia rushes to her master. Kasumov screams disgusted that she's become a lowly slave. The main character praises his loyal servant before looking at Kasumov with pure disappointment. I expected a warrior, not a pathetic psycho, he scoffs. Kasumov's eyes blaze with fury. He claims he can still drag the protagonist to hell even without his sword or buffs. Rushing forward with a dagger, he finds the protagonist won't even budge. 2 armored goblins emerge. The main character grins. Let's see who burns first. Above them, a dragon unleashes a torrential inferno. He's vaporized instantly. Bro literally speedran his way to the underworld. Meanwhile, deep within the Tianguang tribe's territory, a sentry shrieks that the chief has returned. He's even brought a prize another crows. The leader slams a body down. Bound and bloodied, the prisoner scoffs, questioning if this is the legendary Reaper. How pathetic, he spits. Overconfidence always pays its toll in blood. The man coldly confirms the other knight is already dead. Raging about the sword, he curses that wretched witch. Sending soldiers to shield the city was a fatal tactical blunder. The chief plots his next move, evolving rare-tier goblins. This fresh corpse will serve as prime nutrients for the horde. He gifts the prey to Gobshank as his first meal, ordering him to share the scraps. The goblins swarm ecstatic. They hail their master. He chose this goblin specifically for its high evolution potential. Soon, the creature begins its gruesome feast. The chief watches, noting the creature's perfect mix of hypocrisy and sadism. Then grabbing a fruit, he ponders the saintess. He's already scanned the system. She only has 3 squads left, and the silver blade has been crushed. News of Kasimov's defeat will shatter the holy sword's spirit. She'll be forced to make a desperate, reckless move. Now is the perfect moment to trigger the simulation system and peer into the dark future. He initiates the emulation. A dark laugh escapes him. The saintess is ambitious, but she's playing right into his hands. In this lethal game, he holds all the cards. He orders his subordinates to muster the entire goblin army immediately. Tomorrow we execute the grand plan. The goblins roar in agreement, their eyes burning with murderous intent. It's time for total annihilation. Elsewhere, a tense voice asks how the body was discovered. A scout reports to his lord that the remains were found outside the walls. Only one day, a woman gasps. A knight growls, unable to believe those lowly pests could actually take down a warrior like Kasimov. They've failed to purge the goblins repeatedly. Now the dragon's appearance confirms it. This is no coincidence. There's a sinister alliance between dragons and goblins. They're using the citizens as bait for a deadly ambush. We must act, she commands, ordering the elite war squad to march for the capital at once. Later, the unit gallops toward their goal. One soldier shouts through the wind that time is running out. Even at full speed, the capital is 4 days away. He worries about the city's defenses if they all leave. He begs to go alone, so the others can protect the saintess and keep the city walls secure. The woman snaps back, explaining this is a strategic gamble. If they hit a goblin trap, someone must survive. One survivor can warn the others. If the saintess wins, the dragon dies. But an undefended city is the real nightmare. While the knights nod, she emphasizes her duty to secure their operations and rush reinforcements. We have to move. The gravity of the situation finally sinks in. Suddenly, the lead knight yanks his reins, eyes wide with shock. The bridge is gone, a man yells. Despair hits the group as they stare at the shattered ruins. The girl realizes it was sabotage to force a detour, but the captain refuses to change course. A detour is exactly where the ambush lies. Since it's already destroyed, this spot might actually be the safest. He barks orders to fell trees and rebuild the crossing. They must be across before the sun sets. Finally, the makeshift bridge holds. Move out. Every second counts, the captain bellows to his weary troops. Why is it so dark? The girl whispers. The knight looks up, paralyzed. A massive dragon looms over the bridge. Look, a goblin is riding its back, someone screams. Panic spreads through the ranks like wildfire. The alliance is real. The goblin chief chuckles, mocking their hard work. Thanks for fixing the bridge for me. Did you really think you could escape the trap just by avoiding the detour? He sneers. The knight snarls, demanding to know if he's the saboteur. I'll rip your head off myself. The dragon unleashes a torrential blast of fire. The bridge turns into an inferno as the knight screams, run. Flames engulf the structure. The girl curses the goblins as she desperately looks for an escape route. I'll torture that leader to death, the knight vows. The goblin chief simply tilts his head unfazed. Is that all the bark you've got? He mocks. Let's see how you handle my horde and the mother of dragons. We're surrounded, a soldier cries. Are those wyverns? The woman warns the commander. They're outmatched. Total defeat is imminent. The captain claims if they can just hold the line, he can save the city. Bane, I'll hold them back, he roars. Use your sprint. Cross the bridge and warn the saintess now. Copy that. The warrior roars to his commander. He plunges into the fray, screaming, filthy monsters. They set this trap on purpose. Another soldier carves a path through the beastly horde. He's betting everything on the saint's arrival to vaporize these pests for good. But the air turns cold as the woman whispers a chilling realization. That warrior's escape wasn't luck. The goblins orchestrated the whole thing. Their twisted master plan finally clicks into place. The leader sneers, confirming their worst fears the mother of dragons was just a myth, a calculated ruse to bait that naive woman toward the city gates. Fearing the city's fate, the commander's blood boils as he charges. "Kill the dragon rider," he screams. But deep down, he knows the truth. The city is already a graveyard. They just need to hold the line until the saint appears. Steel clashes against bone as the captain faces a hulking orc. He curses his luck. This beast is freakishly strong. Worse, there's something unsettling about the dark energy radiating from its blade. Then it hits him. That's the legendary Kasimov sword. The goblin leader cackles, mocking the knight's pathetic struggle. "I'm on a tight schedule," the goblin grins, drawing a wicked weapon. He leaps from his mount, plummeting toward the earth like a meteor. He vows to slaughter every knight before the saint can interfere. Moments later, the battlefield is littered with broken, armored bodies. Crushed by the impact, a knight gasps for air. He cursed his arrogance. They completely underestimated these green-skinned devils. A brutal blow to the head silences him. "Time's up," the goblin leader commands. "Feast on them. Leave nothing but bones." The creature grunts in sinister gratitude to its master. By the time the saint arrives with her legions, the silence is deafening. Her heart sinks, they're too late. Surveying the carnage, the surviving warrior swears a blood oath to avenge his fallen brothers. Not even a corpse remains. She trembles, wondering if the dragons have truly forged a forbidden pact with the goblin tribes. He describes a goblin who commanded dragons like mere pets. The woman's eyes widen in shock, a goblin with that kind of authority. He explains how the dragon's breath incinerated the bridge on command. The commander and his entire unit were likely erased in seconds. She inspects the ground, noting the lack of dragon fire. Most of these marks look like the aftermath of a goblin slaughter. The dragon presence was a distraction. Suddenly, her face drains of color as the horrifying reality of the situation strikes her. "It was bait," she screams, ordering an immediate retreat. They have to move. The city is the real target of this nightmare. The warrior's confidence shatters into pure terror. Back in the city, only ruins remain. The saint stands amidst the smoking debris. Staring at the tragedy, she collapses to her knees. Her voice trembles as she begs the heavens to let this be a dream. Nearby, a child sobs over his father's lifeless body. When she tries to comfort him, the boy recoils in pure hatred. "Liar," he screams. He claims the protectors were nowhere to be found when the goblins began their bloody feast. He spits that she's a monster. Who would ever accept an apology from a saint who fails to save anyone? "What kind of saint are you?" the survivors jeer. They needed a savior, but they got a failure. The girl is utterly speechless. She endures the venomous whispers, her spirit breaking. Everywhere she turns, the word useless echoes through the ruined streets. From the shadows, a woman watches. He didn't even have to fight her. He completely destroyed the saint's soul. She's officially intrigued. Night falls on the goblin camp as the tribe gathers. A low murmur ripples through the crowd. Their legendary leader has returned. He questions Gabi about the day's operations. Gabi beams reporting that the city raid was a total bloody success. Many humans surrendered just to stay alive. Following orders, he sent the gold tribute to Kayuria while securing the prisoners. After escorting her family to safety, the leader pivots. From now on, they prioritize hunting and devouring high-tier magical beasts. He remembers Kiri, the only soul who believed in him in his past life. The sacred sword legend is officially dead. Elsewhere, the silhouettes of dragons glide over the dense forest canopy, their shadows haunting the trees below. He thanks the mother of dragons for the assist. She giggles, mentioning the saint is now bedridden from pure despair. Mission accomplished. But he needs a permanent alliance. She pouts, asking what her reward will be for all this exhausting aerial support. He tries to show her something, but she silences him with a sudden, passionate kiss. "The only reward I want is you." She asks if he's ready for the challenge. He's stunned, but she laughs, saying she doesn't care about the consequences of their union. She warns him not to overthink it. If he rejects her now, her wrath will be far worse than any dragon's fire. He tries to stay logical, questioning how a lowly goblin could ever be a fit for a majestic dragon queen. Her eyes flash with desire. He's no ordinary monster. She sees the aura of a true goblin king radiating from him. Dragon blood craves strength, it's in her DNA. She wants to breed a new generation of unstoppable, powerful heirs with him. He realizes there's no walking away from this. With a smirk, he accepts the queen's bold and dangerous proposal. With the dragons bearing witness, a system alert chimes. Massive stat bonuses and a legendary achievement. Unlocked. Time to level up. Retreating is the play before the dragon mother stirs. He slips away, chilled by her overwhelming presence. Another encounter like that would be a death sentence. Deep in the shadows, watchful eyes follow him. He's exactly what she envisioned. A future king who might forge a new world for his kind. Meanwhile, back at the village, panic erupts as a piercing scream echoes. An elf questions if he's casting them out, but he explains the captives are for labor. He's ready to release the weak. To him, elven utility far outweighs human potential, and he needs their absolute devotion. He grants Kasana and her kin the freedom to depart. But the elven leader hesitates her response, hanging in the air. "Dear mother," she begins. Our protagonist watches in shock as she drops to her knees, moved by his display of power. She recognizes he's no ordinary monster, pledging her life to the tribe she chooses to follow him. A wise move, he notes. Her presence is a massive asset, so he vows to leave the other elves in peace. She clearly views him as their ultimate salvation. A young elf cries out, tears streaming, unable to fathom her mother's choice. But soon, her tone shifts. From this moment on, they swear fealty to their mother and their new lord. One by one, they refuse to leave. A smirk plays on our hero's lips. Exactly as he planned. Since they've chosen this path, they are no longer prisoners, but his loyal subjects. He promises them absolute protection, earning their gratitude. With the holy sword broken, and external threats vanished, it's the dawn of a sacred era. Now is the time to breed a race of legends. A subordinate grumbles about the fragile human females. The elf suggests they can assist in expanding the bloodline, and our hero agrees it's the only viable path. Suddenly, a panicked goblin reports a casualty among their ranks. He races toward the scene, heart pounding. What happened, he demands, but the guards are just as clueless. The victim had been frantically clawing at his own flesh like a lunatic. Then the air grows heavy as a grotesque transformation begins. His anatomy twists and warps. The thing stands up with a chilling cackle, leaving the goblins wondering if death was just a lie. He's evolved into a level 50 mutant, a pure abomination of raw power. Our hero realizes instantly that, without those massive dragon stat boosts, he'd be dead meat. The monster sneers, declaring that death only made it stronger. Its raw power and intellect have skyrocketed. This new generation will be the focus of his ultimate plan. Fast forward 3 months to the city of Bright. Inside a bustling tavern, the locals whisper about the long silence. Will the Holy Sword ever reclaim his glory? Most doubt it. A knight scoffs, dismissing the threat as just mere goblins. He claims the Bloodstorm heroes could wipe them out with ease. All eyes turn toward the speaker, the legendary diamond rank captain. The man is none other than Sir Earl. Meanwhile, after 90 days of intense expansion, the tribe has surged to 150, formidable third-generation goblins. Sensing the danger, the crown issues massive bounties totaling 100 gold coins. Elites from every corner swarm the city, fueled by a single goal: extermination. But the system issues a grim warning. Diamond and epic tier threats are closing in. He needs to gear up for the fight of his life. Diamond ranks are humanity's peak but epic levels. They dwarf even the Holy Sword. This time, he's flying blind without a guide. Every choice rests solely on his shoulders now. Interrupting his thoughts, an elf arrives with urgent intel. The news is grim. The new generation is reaching maturity, but the forest's resources are completely depleted, and famine is looming. Our hero knows the current land can't sustain them, especially with the city mobilizing for war. A relocation is mandatory. He gives the order to march, and the elf immediately begins coordinating the exodus. They discover a hidden sanctuary, a waterfall cave masking a massive subterranean network, the perfect fortress. After ushering his people inside, he commands his lieutenants to lock down the perimeter, making it safe. Guard the prisoners and the young, he barks. Torches flicker to life, illuminating their new domain. This is our new kingdom, she proclaims. Under his rule, prosperity is promised to all who remain loyal. But defiance carries a death sentence. The foundation of his tribe is finally rock solid. Now he must scout the human city. If the system's intel holds true, the hunters are already on the move. Back in town, a heavy mug slams onto a tavern table. A curious server asks if His Highness should be hunting high-level prey instead of mere goblins. Earl responds. He has to clean up his cousin Loder's mess. It's all about family damage control. Suddenly, a name rings out through the tavern, Zizar. They say Zizar hoards all the glory and gold. The room murmurs in confusion, wondering why a shark is hunting minnows. Zizar's price for the goblins' heads is steep. He demands a cool 1,000 gold coins, or there's no deal. A voice echoes through the hall, questioning the mage's presence. The answer: he's Grey Hat, the legendary leader of the diamond rank heroes. Whispers spread about the old man's insane confidence. Suddenly, a cold laugh erupts. You think you're the main characters, he sneers. Just because the Holy Sword lost it, don't forget, the lethal Lucilina is also in the game. Faces turn ghost white. Why would a monster that dangerous even bother showing up here? Rumor says she'll end anyone for the right price. Earl wonders if this nomad is just another hero hunting goblins. But the man isn't interested in small fry. He's only here for one thing: taking down a dragon. A dragon kill would secure his epic rank status. Still, he warns that sleeping on goblins is a total death sentence. They're low tier, but their evolution speed is cracked, especially the mutants. The old mage actually nods in agreement. With a century under his belt, he's fought more goblins than he's seen women. This bottom-tier race, they're ancient pests. The ultimate enemy of every living race, surviving through the ages like a stubborn plague. Swigging his beer, he admits goblin slaying is a total drag. He's only in it for the gold. Earl can't argue. Even the Saint and the Knights took massive losses. Caution is key. Then he turns to the old-timer. Why not form a squad? Once the job's done, you can walk away with the entire jackpot. The old man chuckles, sealing the deal. Since the Earl's being so generous, he'll join the party. The old-timer smells a bit fishy, but they dive into mission strategy anyway, planning their next move. It's all about brute force, but charging blindly into the unknown, that's just asking for a total wipeout. We need a blueprint, but some think he's being way too cautious for their liking. He might just sit this one out. The rookie is lost. Then a weirdly armored dude approaches, catching Earl's eye. Didn't expect the Goblin Slayer to pop up here, the old man muses. Suddenly the rookie goes stiff. The Slayer, he stammers an apology, but the Slayer just wants to stay off the radar. What do you want? The Slayer asks. The prince notes. His vibe is totally off. Even his voice sounds fake. This guy took down a chieftain, meaning thousands of goblins have fallen to his blade. Earl is absolutely floored. He offers a spot on the squad, but the Slayer shuts it down. He's a solo player. Groups just slow me down. The mage scoffs, telling him not to beg for help when things go south. Don't cry when the goblins bag you. Let's move out before this guy steals our clout. Wait, shouldn't we prep? But it's too late. The Slayer heads out, watched by our hero from the heights. Activating sharp eyes, he scans the target, a level 65 human Slayer with a cracked skill set. His jaw drops. The Slayer's power level just tripled from 1,000 to 3,000. Is the system bugging? The system confirms 0 errors, no glitch. Soon a cavalry unit thunders through the city gates. Our hero's interest is piqued. He spots Geyser, a holy knight pushing 1,300 power. Beside him, Gru, an archmage hitting 1,400. That's a lethal duo right there. 2 diamond rank powerhouses. They shouldn't be too much trouble. But the Slayer, he's the real wild card that needs watching. Deep in the sky, fury ruins the party advances. But the old man senses something is seriously off. A tribe this massive should have been spotted ages ago. Where are all the tracks and signs? The leader stops the old-timer, handing over a mysterious lock of blonde hair. Take a look at this. He catches the scent. If my nose is right, this belongs to an elf. The rookie is stunned. Elves helping goblins? No way. But the old man points out they've already scoured the entire forest. They aren't hiding. They've relocated and wiped their trail clean. Then he reveals his secret weapon. These butterflies are elven trackers. They'll lead us straight to the stash. The insect takes flight. The butterfly stalls. Did they cross the river? Maybe we should wait for the Slayer to lead the way. Wait for the Slayer to aggro. The old man shakes his head. We don't need that guy. Look, across the river a lone goblin emerges. Capture it now, the boy commands. From the shadows, our hero smirks. The trap is set. They took the bait. But then a new movement. The Slayer is already at the lake. Our hero planned to take the duo out first, but this guy, he stands there with a chilling smile. Then everything stops. The adventurer strips her armor, revealing her true elven form. Shock hits him like a truck. Is this legendary goblin slayer actually a girl? Plus, there's something totally otherworldly about her. Her combat prowess is straight up cracked. But seriously, who stops for a soak mid-battle? That is far from normal. A chill creeps down his spine. Did she clock his position? Or is this just a lethal bait to lure him into the open? He mounts his dragon and takes to the skies. This lady is playing chess, not checkers. Time to wipe out the small fry first. Gazing upward, the huntress marvels at the creature above. A predatory grin spreads across her face. She is ready to savor this kill. Moments later, the fodder goblin is eating dirt. The rookie breathes a sigh of relief, thinking the nightmare has finally ended. Stay sharp, he barks. The nest is right on top of them. Without warning, the sky bleeds fire as flaming arrows rain down. Fall back, the veteran mage roars, weaving a counterspell. He meets the volley with a wall of flames. This is a total setup. That was a close call. The old man still has some fight left, but the real horror is just beginning. Shut it, the maid screams. A monstrous mutant goblin storms the battlefield. Gru's eyes widen. It's a hero-class threat. All units focus fire on that beast. The mage lets fly a massive fireball, catching the beast off guard. It's a clean hit. A massive explosion rocks the clearing. But through the smoke, the monster emerges unscathed, save for its charred rags. The mage freezes as the beast keeps closing in. How is that thing still standing? Just then, the leader's heart sinks. Look around, the horde is tightening the noose. These are all elite warriors. Since when do these pests rock iron plate and steel blades? He can't let them breach the line. Leave that to Cecil. He triggers Fount of Life, pumping fresh mana into the squad. Nearby, another hunter preps a mid-tier spell. Ice Spike frozen spears erupt as a quicksand field swallows the ground. Then, Rain of Judgment descends, pulverizing the frantic horde. A shadow looms from above. Someone is pulling the strings. The commander barks orders to clear a path for their heavy hitter Gobakong. The goblin ace dives from the sky, impacting like a meteor. With a blood-curdling roar, he blitzes straight for the adventurers. The veteran mage reels, blinded by the creature's insane speed. Curse those green skins, he spits frantically, trying to reposition. The mutant juggernaut pushes forward with its vanguard. Don't flinch, the leader bellows. Squires, hold that line, or we die. But the knights are tossed aside like rag dolls. Desperate, the leader invokes the Holy Lord, begging for the power to purge these demons. He unleashes a top-tier spell, Holy Light. Brilliant radiance erupts. On me, form up and stay in the light. They shield the injured healing wounds in a flash of gold. Raging, he vows to kill them all. Even our hero respects this diamond rank squad. Their synergy is top tier, way past his expectations. Against any other tribe, they'd be legends. But today, their luck just ran out. They picked the wrong dungeon to crawl in. Shadows shift as even more horrors emerge, led by that relentless mutant freak. The old mage is losing it, swearing at the sky. A mutant's on the prowl, the huntress notes, her voice chillingly calm. She finds these beasts fascinating and deadly. Suddenly, a gut-wrenching scream shatters the air. Gru has been absolutely mangled. The mutant hoists him up like a broken doll. The entire horde enters a synchronized combat trance, moving with terrifying precision. The Golden Boy leader is crushed, his spirit broken. He stares in disbelief as the old man wails for a miracle. But the leader is finished. Pure, unadulterated terror paralyzes him before he scrambles away like a desperate coward. "They're demons," he shrieks, fleeing for his life. Meanwhile, the mutant looms over the helpless mage, ready to end it. Ducking through a hail of arrows, he curses his own stupidity. Hidden elf archers, this is a total nightmare scenario. Suddenly, the onslaught stops. He looks up, trembling, and finds the legendary Goblin Slayer standing right in front of him. He begs for mercy just as a swarm of goblins lunges for his throat. A fresh bloodbath erupts while Earl watches from the sidelines. Shaking like a leaf, he realizes the monsters are already piles of meat. Relief washes over him as he blubbers his thanks. He starts babbling about a reward, but the huntress cuts him off with a cold stare. "Keep your distance," she snaps. "The further away, the better, kid." She treats him like annoying trash. Earl frantically warns them, this isn't a normal goblin nest. A goblin overlord is pulling the strings, but the Slayer just smirks. This just makes the hunt more satisfying. Later on that battlefield, the mutant clutches the mage's skull, but then bam, a heavy strike connects perfectly, knocking the beast out cold. From his perch, our hero frowns. A goblin frenzy, something's wrong. Suddenly the horde senses a new presence and turns as one. The Slayer steps out, eyeing the mutant with pure disgust. Is this the boss? Because with a face that dumb, I doubt it. Definitely not leader material. Enraged, the mutant screams bloody murder and lunges forward for a final showdown. The Slayer shifts into a combat stance. A split second later, the air is filled with flying goblin limbs. Our hero is low-key confused. What's with the system? I thought it was just basic physical strikes. This is straight-up magic. Desperate, the mutant goblin triggers its trump card, Mad War Transformation. With a wild roar, it lunges at the goblin hunter. The adventurer just mocks the angry bull and swings. He carves the beast into scraps. Gripping his massive blade with both hands, he sprints toward the mutant goblin. "You're already dead," he scoffs, but a sudden impact paralyzes him. The hunter snaps as his muscles freeze. Retreating crossed his mind, but this mysterious player was too valuable a pawn to just abandon now. Facing them head-on is suicide. He orders a tactical retreat into a defensive ring, keeping their distance. Long-range fire only. The huntress reels, unable to believe a lowly goblin could actually tame a dragon. This place is full of surprises. Suddenly, massive boulders come crashing down the slope, barreling straight toward her. Without flinching, she cleaves the rocks in midair. She slams her blade into the dirt, using it for support. After an hour of non-stop carnage, she is gasping for air, and looks like she is hanging by a thread. The huntress yanks off her heavy helmet and tosses it aside, revealing a woman of stunning beauty. The goblins lose it, totally entranced by her. Our hero just stands there, unable to believe his eyes. She pulverizes the old mage's remains, cold-bloodedly, stating that his heart is the ultimate source of power. Horror sinks in. He totally misjudged her. The huntress begins cutting down the monsters with terrifying precision. Her eyes lock onto a target. The mutant screams, calling her a filthy woman before begging for her death. An energy-infused blade strikes instantly. She detonates her hidden ability, and the monster literally vaporizes. Our hero is on edge. If she can devour goblins, they need to get out of there immediately. He screams for the elf to move, ordering an instant retreat. "Wait," the goblin huntress calls out calmly. She hasn't seen a goblin this elite in forever. If he cooperates, she might just let them live. She even offers medical aid for the dagger wound. Our hero scoffed, who would fall for such a blatant lie. The girl looks genuinely shocked. "You don't trust me?" she asks, reaching for her armor's buckles. The heavy plates hit the floor. Stripped of her defense, she asks if he finally trusts her. He's stunned. She just discarded her gear and weapons. What kind of mind game is she playing? He descends, deciding they should talk man to monster. She smiles, admitting he's far more impressive than she expected. He's followed her rules, so where's the healing? She produces a strange needle looking far too intense. Relax, I'll keep my word, she purrs. But first you've got to entertain me. You look like low-rank trash. But you've got the mind of a king. My absolute favorite. Our hero recoils. Is she actually serious? He fell right into her trap. This woman is completely insane. Suddenly his allies all turn their backs. Confused, he demands to know what's happening. She approaches with a wicked grin, claiming they're all her puppets now. They won't see a thing, she laughs, lunging forward to pin him in a suffocating embrace. Just relax. She isn't looking to kill. She's claiming him. With a sudden shove, she pins him to the dirt. She wonders what he'll evolve into next. Before he can move, she strikes. Is this even reality anymore? Earl watches from the shadows, paralyzed with fear. The realization hits him like a freight train. The legendary slayer is a woman, and she's with a goblin. Suddenly, a shadow creeps toward him. Earl is frozen in terror. Our hero warns her that this den has its own rules for intruders. She just wants to test his limits. He demands to know her identity and the source of this power. How is she controlling everyone? She makes a deal. She'll tell him everything if he lets her join him. Depends on your answer, he says. She reveals her secret. She is the child of a goblin king. A human-looking king's descendant. He's baffled. She explains her mother was human, making her a hybrid. There's more than one king. She notes that the higher the rank, the harder it is to breed. But she was a survivor. After 10 years, she executed the king who tried to claim her. She devoured him whole, stealing his dominion over goblins. With that power, she purged every living soul there. Is it his life force she's using? She confirms it, explaining she infused it into her signature weapon. One hit implants a suicide gene. Once struck, disobedience becomes physically impossible. She transformed into a slayer, out of pure hatred. Everything she did to him was deeply personal. She despises goblins with every fiber of her being. Our hero realizes her mind is dangerously warped. It's like he can feel her agony, a lethal instinct against these goblins. He notes they're cut from the same cloth. He extends an invitation to team up. She admits she expected him to flinch, seeing no point in playing games. Our protagonist is stunned. She explains the city's political web is messy, offering to return as his secret informant. Anything's better than rotting there. He questions her true motives, but she claims since he's hers, she'll shield him. He stiffens at the possessive tone. Later, deep in the cavern, he scans the terminal for crucial intel. Checking his reward, he's disappointed. A woman with royal life force should be worth far more than this pittance. Out of nowhere, a voice asks about his cousin, revealing he's still breathing. The shock hits our hero hard. Bystanders whisper that the cousin is a total stain on the family. Even the Holy Sword abandoned that loser. The man barks back, calling him a failure. He points to the shadows, sneering that death is coming fast. A goblin suddenly snatches the young man. Paralyzed with fear, he screams as they drag him toward the boiling pot. He wails for mercy, offering noble titles and women for his life. His cousin shouts for the monsters to stop. He demands to speak with their chief. Our hero scoffs, calling him a stray dog who finally found his bark. The man vows to fulfill any wish if his cousin is spared. Earl apologizes for his past arrogance and insults. Lynn is stunned. How can a shackled prisoner even attempt to negotiate? The man suggests scarring his cousin before release, baiting more rescuers into a lethal trap they can all devour. Earl's blood runs cold. Lost in a dark trance, the man whispers that everyone deserves to perish in agony. He's dead set on a massacre. Our hero senses his chilling sincerity and decides to take the deal. The guy looks completely broken. The elf warns that letting him walk risks exposing their hidden stronghold. Our hero brushes it off, asking if she lacks faith in him. Meanwhile, time slips by in the city. Someone bellows that it's game over. The innkeeper asks for details, but the panic only spreads. He describes Zisser mangled and riding a monstrous steed toward the capital. The crowd erupts in disbelief and terror. Rumors fly that the entire squad failed. Were the Grey Hats and Blizzard Braves wiped out by the horde? If Zisser was the lone survivor, the goblin hunter enters to confirm the nightmare. Everyone else was slaughtered. Only Zisser crawled away. She collapses into a chair, exhausted. A curious adventurer asks if she was there. She nods grimly. A hooded man presses for details, and she describes hundreds of massive mutated goblins. But she finished them all off. Silence grips the tavern until someone mutters that it's typical of her legend. The innkeeper offers a free round, while the patrons stare, unable to wrap their heads around her victory. Suddenly, a blur crashes through the entrance. Bats flood the room, clinging to the rafters as the crowd watches. The goblin hunter recognizes the cold mercenary's flashy entrance. Someone shouts for the slayer, demanding to know about the nest. They doubt her story, claiming those vermin hide deep underground. How could she know they're all truly dead? She admits the lair remains hidden. She simply butchered every monster that crossed her path before returning. She asks if they can handle the rest. A bat sneers, "Don't worry about us. Finding the den is their job." He invites her along, but the goblin hunter stands to leave. She hates night shifts and claims she's dead weight compared to them. The bat calls it a disgrace. He declares the hunt is theirs now. Under the moonlight, the creatures soar through the woods hunting for the den. One questions the captain's intuition, sensing no powerful threats nearby. Is this just another wild goose chase? The captain halts, declaring the scent leads straight inside. They dive into the cave's yawning dark mouth. Goblin sentries stay wary, though they sense nothing. Meanwhile, the bat-like hunters glide deeper into the gloom. One scoffs, wondering if that was it. Just a few runts. He thinks they found a totally average tribe. But the captain insists the hunter was right. These massive goblins are perfect prey to drain before they wake. He barks the order to strike and feed. With fangs glistening, he lunges at his targets. Suddenly, a massive surge of energy blasts him back. He slams into the floor, utterly crushed and defeated. The bat stammers in shock. This was supposed to be a simple den. He can't believe his eyes. Torches ignite, bathing the cave in fire. Hordes of goblins swarm from the shadows surrounding the intruders. Panicked, the crew asks their captain for a way out of the inferno. Our protagonist steps out, mocking their guts for trying to bleed them dry. He is ready to see if they actually have the skills to back up that talk. The Bat Commander locks eyes with the Goblin Chief before signaling his squad. In a blur of motion, they begin rotating into a lethal, flesh-tearing cyclone. Suddenly, a woman's boots slam into the dirt. She cold-bloodedly declares that since their cover is blown, not a single soul can be left breathing. She looks down on the goblins like they are mere insects. The system interface flashes red, identifying her as Lilith, a level 61 vampire noble. With 2,800 combat power, our hero can barely contain his hype. Her stats are absolutely cracked, and he could not be more satisfied. Having already scouted their patterns, he is 3 steps ahead. The vampire takes to the sky, raining down a brutal assault on the goblin ranks. Taunting them with a choice between the fire or an early grave, Lin begins to glow with an intense, blinding radiance. Coils of shimmering golden energy erupt around the group. The vampires hiss in pain, desperately shielding their eyes from the divine brilliance. Disbelief hits them. How can a humble goblin wield holy magic? The sacred light surges forward, slamming a vampire into the dirt with crushing force. He steps into the fray, suggesting a ceasefire since nobody wins this bloodbath. The vampire's expression remains icy and unimpressed. She sneers, assuming he is just hunting a bounty. He just tilts his head, genuinely confused why bloodsuckers would even care about human currency. Flustered for a second, she snaps back about the struggle of dodging the church. Without an agreement to stop hunting humans, they actually need cash for supplies. Lin's gears start turning. If he can flip them to his side, he could permanently upgrade his clan's entire genetic lineage. Our hero lays his cards on the table, proposing a partnership. He guarantees he can keep them fed without them ever needing to hunt again. The goblins murmur in the background, but she cuts them off. She argues that their current stash will not even last them for the long term. That is when he mentions a secret alternative, a vital essence that can satisfy even the most ravenous monster's cravings. The vampires exchange stunned glances, whispering frantically among themselves. Our hero clears his throat, beginning the tale of an ancient legend. Ages ago, a succubus discovered that harvesting a specific vital fluid from men provided a unique, intoxicating boost. It became their ultimate fuel. There is no need for slaughter. You can extract it easily anywhere, providing infinite nourishment and a way to stockpile resources for the future. He adds that while goblins lack many things, they have this in abundance. Sign the deal, and they will never go hungry again. One vampire recalls hearing rumors of such creatures, while another wonders if this is all just a massive scam. Their leader decides that testing it is the only way to know for sure. Suddenly, one of the girls lunges for her captain. She panics, reminding them they are noble countesses. With their count currently sealed away, isn't this taking things a bit too far? She fires back, asking how many more sisters have to die waiting. If this method works, their era of constant risk is finally over. If his claim is legit, they can survive without the danger. Without another word, the girl begins the experimental process. The rest of the squad shifts uncomfortably as the tension peaks. Suddenly, she freezes in place, her eyes widening in realization. It actually works. This essence is a perfect substitute for their usual diet. Pure hype erupts as they all start shoving each other to get a taste. Our hero asks Leah to step in and assist. The elf admits her boss really put in the work, noting how desperate these vampires truly were. The vampire captain finally calls out to the goblin. She officially agrees to the alliance, asking what his price for this miracle is. He explains that these sunless caves are their new sanctuary. In exchange, they must act as the ultimate shield against any unwanted intruders. She nods in understanding and accepts the terms. Our hero smirks at the successful outcome. Later that night, the scene shifts to the bustling city. Since that elite mercenary group has not checked in, the higher-ups assume they have been completely erased from the map. One guy screams about being sick of useless losers. His comrade fires back, calling him the real trash for being terrified of a few goblins. He mocks his diamond rank status, asking how he can be so pathetic. The other man snarls, refusing to take a lecture from someone like him. The tavern tension is thick enough to cut with a knife, until the holy sword herself enters. One man turns ghost white just looking at her. The other guy grins relieved she has finally returned. They reveal the plan: she is heading solo into the treacherous land of dragons. While she is gone, they will mobilize to wipe out the goblin threat once and for all. A nervous adventurer asks if they truly have a chance. With only the regular fighters remaining, one man steps up. He claims it will just take a bit of sweat and tells everyone to count on him. He vows to support the Holy Sword's defensive line while organizing the main force to sweep through the dark forest. Their goal is total goblin extermination. She nods, entrusting the mission to Ellison, a top-tier diamond-ranked marksman. Reaching the dragon's domain requires a journey by sea. She asks him to use his object manipulation magic to secure their passage. He bows deeply, declaring that fighting alongside the Holy Sword is the absolute peak of his career. But deep down, his eyes are on the prize. He is hoping this mission will finally bump him up to the legendary epic rank. Elsewhere, in a sky swarming with drakes, the mother of dragons cradles a glowing egg when something strange catches her eye. She demands to know what the chaos is about. A dragon crashes through the entrance, making a scene until the truth finally clicks for her. Amethyst stood frozen, never imagining the saintess would recover this quickly. She carefully nestled her egg into the earth, cursing her terrible luck. With a final tearful kiss, she whispered to the shell, "Always remember, your father was a legendary goblin." Mana surged as she tainted the holy blade with a dark hex soaring skyward in her majestic dragon form. "This ends today," she roared, while the holy sword nearby carved a bloody path through the draconic legions. Battle-scarred and broken, the dragon mother crashed into the dirt. The saintess loomed over her and coldly declared. The beast finally revealed her true face, Amethyst, matriarch of dragons. Amethyst spat in disbelief that this weak human, who was just thrashed by mere goblins, was still standing. "How dare you act like a hero, you coward?" "I don't need your lectures," the saintess hissed. "But since you've chosen to threaten my people, I'm taking your head." She lunged with a devastating strike, daring Amethyst to survive. The dragon's eyes flared with rage. A torrent of dragon fire met the holy light, triggering a cataclysmic shockwave that rocked the entire battlefield. "That thing is a mountain," the man gulped. Suddenly, a hand snatched his cloak, dragging him back as the ground disintegrated. Amethyst tracked their retreat. "Get moving, you idiot," the saintess screamed. "Stop being such a useless burden." Amethyst shrieked, summoning a landslide of jagged purple crystals. The saintess braced herself, desperately parrying the crystalline storm. A shard nearly impaled the man, sending him into a panic. Seizing the distraction, the saintess vaulted over the rubble. Reaching the dragon's skull, she activated a transcendent sword art. She plummeted like a falling star, shredding scales with a whirlwind of blades. Suddenly, a high-pitched cry pierced the air. A shell had just shattered. An emerald hatchling blinked at the carnage and let out its first roar. Amidst the chaos, someone lay gravely wounded. Perched on a rock, the saintess watched the fallen matriarch. "Tsk. I went for the brain," she muttered, "but I barely missed and only claimed her eye." Amethyst, blinded and screaming in agony, spat venomous curses at her foe. "I'll tear your soul out today," she vowed. Suddenly, a tiny voice shrieked, "Don't you dare touch my mommy." The hatchling dove into the fray, shocking both warriors. Amethyst's heart sank. "Run, my son, get out of here. Follow your memories to the sanctuary," she wailed. The boy watched in horror as the saintess broke his mother. Sobbing through his snarls, the dragon fled. Back at the line, the man told his master, "Leave the brat to me. Just watch." He launched a barrage of magic spheres at the hatchling. The tiny dragon hissed and spat back. The dragon's venom splashed directly into his eyes. Screaming, he hit the dirt, fumbling for a potion to douse the burn. His skin bubbling, he roared, "Where is that overgrown gecko? I'm turning him into a pair of boots." "Ignore the beast," the saintess ordered. "We need to move now if we're going to stop those goblins." "The boat's stuck," the man complained. "But wait, dragon fire might be hot enough to melt this magical seal." It was their only hope. Hours later, a lonely hatchling whimpered beside his mother's battered body. "I'll take you home, Mommy. We'll fix you," he sobbed, straining his tiny wings to lift her massive form. He failed. Exhausted, he whispered a tearful apology. "I have to eat you to gain the strength to bring you back." He let out a primal roar of grief and soared into the clouds. Days later, he reached the ancient dragon's lair. He touched down trembling. Clutched in his tiny claws was the only thing left of Amethyst, her head. Suddenly, a shadow fell. A massive guard slammed him into the stone, sending his mother's head rolling across the floor. "My king, I've captured the intruder," the guard growled. A colossal crimson dragon narrowed his eyes at the scene. "That is Philbas's head," the king thundered. He loomed over the boy. "Speak, whelp, who are you?" "I followed her memories here," the boy pleaded. "Please save her," the king sighed. "The markings don't lie. The saintess did this. It's a tragedy." Philbas held the royal power crystal when she fell. The king sniffed the boy. "You're her blood, all right, but your scent is tainted. You aren't a pure dragon." "Who sired you?" the king demanded. The boy whispered, "Mom said. My father was a goblin." Gasps of horror filled the hall. A goblin's mongrel, a guard roared, lunging with bared fangs to erase the disgrace. Let me slaughter this insult to our race. The Crimson King watched the struggle with cold, calculating eyes. Hold, the king commanded. This creature is the grandson of the late Dragon King himself. Our lineage is dying. He must be tested. If you truly wish to save your mother, boy, you must slay the warrior beside you. The guard grinned. Thanks for the entertainment, your majesty. With a roar, it lunges, unhinging its massive jaws. Like a bolt of lightning, the young dragon dives headfirst into the beast's throat. The onlookers are stunned. This reckless move only fuels the opponent's burning rage. He recoils, spewing desperate flames and shrieking for backup. It's shredding my insides, he bellows in pure agony. A spectator growls that the king's decree is absolute. This is his fight alone, no outside interference. Suddenly, the young dragon explodes from the creature's chest. He takes flight, relishing the sweet taste of survival and victory. Finally, he can rescue his mother. He touches down. The king proclaims him a true member of the dragon's nest. Rise, Nidhogg, the king thunders. The boy looks up desperate. Will you return my mother to me now? The king commands Philip's head be taken to the world tree. It must be grafted into the ancient roots. A wooden dragon is the key to her resurrection. Back at the terminal, he muses that despite the casualties, this is a massive win. Lin suspects he's already rigged the board against those meddling adventurers. The terminal prompts a simulation run. Our hero hits the button. The room erupts in cheers for their boss. That mountain of corpses is the perfect catalyst for evolution. After the surviving goblins feast on the remains, they hit level 50 and evolve. One mutates into a terrifying glutton goblin. Another transcends into a giant hammer goblin with insane power stats. The rest shift into lethal dark goblins. Their power levels hit 1,200. Lin realizes why the world hates them. They literally eat to level up. Humans just need to slay foes to grow. For goblins, the grind is far more gruesome and primal. Race or faction doesn't matter. A figure approaches impressed. Didn't think you'd be this crafty, she purrs. The vampire admits she's been craving human blood for ages. As a token of her appreciation, she's tracked down the saint's location. Our hero demands the intel. She reveals that, spooked by the fallen adventurers, she fled the city to summon a legendary party of elite heroes. Watch your back, she warns. She was a member of the Holy Sword. He asks if she's in the wild. Perfect. I could use some fresh air, he smirks. The vampire stares, shocked by his total lack of fear. He's actually smiling. Suddenly, a frantic goblin rushes in. Boss, we've got a major problem. An enemy tribe is marching toward their cave. Our hero's eyes widen. He's caught off guard. There shouldn't be any tribes for miles. Could they be the original owners of this place, he wonders? Raiders scale the walls. Our hero observes the chaos from above, while his heavy hitters wait below. A level 50 beast, a massive leader, commands his pack to quit stalling. Move it, you maggots, he bellows. Average power 800. Something's off. A rare hero like that shouldn't just be leading a squad. Take them alive, he commands. They might be an elite task force from a bigger tribe. His subordinate smirks, ready for action. The invaders wade through the water. What is that stench, one asks. The others shrug it off. Probably just fresh meat hiding in the shadows. Get ready for a feast. A shadow blurs. It lunges at the leader ambush. The big guy roars, baring his teeth. Battle stations. The tribe screams to protect their leader as another goblin crashes through the waterfall. It's a mutant, run, they shriek. The enemy leader sees red, but in a heartbeat, his entire squad is pulverized. A survivor flees, screaming, our nest is gone, I must tell the Lord. A crossbow bolt whistles through the air. Within seconds, the entire raiding party is completely neutralized. The leader snarls. These were supposed to be low-level scrubs. He spits at his fallen, pathetic comrades. He collapses onto the toxic earth. Our hero stares down with cold eyes. Later, the leader is shackled. He screams for release, snarling at the low-level trash standing before him. I'll eat your heart, he vows. You need a serious attitude adjustment, our hero sighs. The creature scoffs. You think you can break me? Why would I fear a weakling? 10 minutes later, torture tools are strewn across the blood-stained floor. I'll talk. Please no more, the beast wails. Our hero leans in. Start with your tribe's name. Where are you based and why are you here? It stammers, the Beast King tribe, the Demon Forest. This cave belonged to their boss. They were sent on a recovery mission to retrieve something hidden here. What's your leader's rank, he demands. A goblin lord, it whispers. And soon, he becomes a dominator. Lin's face drains of color as the beast growls about a sacred mission for their dark sovereign. Check for yourself if you doubt me, it hisses. Lin smirks, wondering if some epic loot is involved. Legend says the Ghoul clan's cursed ring can imprison any soul, dragging the weak into eternal darkness. Finding such a high-tier artifact in this dump was unexpected. The monster snarls that its secrets are now laid bare. Since he already secured the prize, the beast begs for mercy. Lin smiles coldly, reaching out to help it up. Terror strikes the creature's eyes. Lin whispers, "Don't worry, I am letting your physical shell go free. But your soul, that belongs to me." With a flash, the ring's power tears the spirit from its flesh. Agony erupts in a final scream as Lin devours the essence. Instantly, his power level surges by 200 points. A decent snack, but Lin craves more. He needs a legendary soul to truly break the scale. These beast tribes pack enough heat to rival human kingdoms. Perfect pawns for his upcoming world-altering game. Interrupting his thoughts, the goblin hunter trembles, asking if that really was a high-ranking Beast King envoy. Lin is impressed by her intel, but her face is grim. Offending them is a literal death sentence, she warns. They serve the Great Tomb. Even the mighty Lionheart Empire wouldn't dare breathe in their direction. The Great Tomb. Lin is intrigued, but she just panics, explaining the terrifying laws governing that forbidden territory. Deep within the endless demon forest lurks a world-class calamity, a monster of the 12th rank. Lin processes the insane power scaling. Seeing his smirk, she nervously asks what his next move is. He outlines a daring scheme, requesting her aid to bind the creature's remaining essence to his will. The plan: send the puppet back to the Beast King, with news that their precious ring was snatched. But there is a catch. He is going to frame someone else for the heist, shifting the blame entirely. The targets are the Lionheart Empire's elite nobles. The hunter stares at him, absolutely floored by his audacity. Lin grins, explaining how he has meticulously set the stage for a devastating ambush against the unsuspecting royals. He will use their lord as a human shield for maximum experience gain. Everything is falling perfectly into place. Let the enemies bleed while he reaps the rewards. Later in the capital, a high-ranking noble ruthlessly shames him. "You have dragged our name through the mud," the noble roars, as the son stammers excuses to his disappointed father. He pleads that these goblins are not mindless beasts, they are tactical geniuses who slaughtered the entire Grey Hat squad. With his cousin still missing, Pharamond explodes. How could the clan's pride and joy fail so miserably? Being crushed by lowly goblins has made them the laughingstock of the entire kingdom. The humiliation is unbearable. They grovel in the dirt, pleading for mercy. "That goblin, he is a literal demon," the son cries out. Disgusted, the patriarch banishes him from the room. To him, his son is nothing but a pathetic failure. Suddenly, a confident voice cuts through the tension, promising the count that salvation has finally arrived. "I will restore your honor," the stranger claims. The count scowls, demanding to know what this man's price is. Royal orders have the military locked down. They cannot just march an army out on a whim. The king is already consulting the legendary sacred sword, leaving the noble family in the dust. "Think bigger," the man urges. "If the hero handles this, your family becomes completely obsolete in the king's eyes." Fear of irrelevance grips Pharamond. The new strategy: have the son deliver a falsified report directly to the throne. If they bypass the rules and mobilize 2,000 elite troops, those goblins will be erased from existence. The room goes silent as the deal is sealed. The man sneers, dragging the failure son along for the ride. Back at the den, goblins watch in awe as a terrified prisoner prays the projectile missed his head. Lin nails the target with surgical precision. This modern pistol is proving to be a literal cheat code, worth every penny. His elf ally is practically vibrating with excitement, begging for a lesson in marksmanship. He finally relents. Suddenly, a scout screams that a massive human battalion is marching from the city gates. They are geared for war. Simultaneously, another scout reports an incoming tide of Beast King warriors flooding the forest. Lin's blood pumps with excitement. His puppet informs the Beast King that humans have stolen their sacred artifact. The fake report claims the humans were too strong. The Beast King roars in fury, branding his servant a failure. War is declared. As the Beast King's horde mobilizes, the human army prepares for a bloody clash. In the city, the Count's arrival is met with cheers, though tensions rise over the Holy Sword's absence. A cocky dragon slayer steps forward, reminding everyone that he is the one who stands beside legends. The Count's voice turns cold, declaring their mission total goblin extermination. Suddenly, a frantic scream shatters the air. Something is horribly wrong. Monsters swarm from the shadows in a bloodthirsty frenzy. The troops panic, baffled by how these pests bypass their high walls. Spitting curses, the Count roars for his knights to charge and wipe every single parasite from the face of the earth. Mounted and fearless, he carves through the fray. The knights finally seize control. Even the squad's resident deadweight is actually holding his own for once. But the vibe shifts as our protagonist steps onto the battlefield. He isn't just fighting, he's straight up vibing with the chaos. The Count scoffs, dismissing such pathetic foes. At this rate, he figures the cleanup will be finished within the hour. Suddenly, a horse is hurled like a toy. Our hero freezes as a gargantuan shadow looms, turning the battlefield into a nightmare. That's the Beast King Goblin level 79 with 3,000 combat power. Our hero stands paralyzed by its sheer overwhelming pressure. The creature is pure nightmare fuel. Terrified, the Count screeches for a retreat, his mind reeling at what this monstrosity could be. Just then, Lorna arrives. The Count's cousin steps up, vowing to take down the Titan while the soldiers mop up the small fry. The Count mocks her, warning her not to fail like her loser brother. Ignoring him, she lunges at the Titan, her squad following her lead. But the beast doesn't even flinch. It starts hunting the group down exactly as the twisted plan intended. Our hero's heart sinks. If they keep retreating in that direction, they're going to lead that monster straight to his tribe. He's stuck watching from the sidelines. It's tragic, really. That girl has no clue she's walking into a literal death trap. Near the city, the monster dominates. Gritting their teeth, the squad vows to rip those tusks out as their first trophy. Don't fold, now a soldier barks. They just need to create one single opening for Lorna to deliver the final lethal strike. Staring down the Titan, Lorna refuses to back down. As the Academy's star pupil, failure simply isn't an option. She unleashes a high-tier martial technique, but the beast counters with a devastating blow. Even our hero is stunned by its speed. Despite being outclassed in raw power, the squad holds the line. The Beast King is absolutely livid at being stalled by gnats. It snarls in outrage. How dare she? Suddenly, the monster changes its stance and prepares a terrifying skill. Our hero's blood runs cold as the beast lets out a world-shaking Beast King's roar. A dragon rider soaring above is suddenly slammed by an invisible force. The sonic wave is far more violent than he anticipated. Xiao Huan bristles in sheer terror from the roar, forcing his rider to struggle for control. Below, someone collapses in agony. She falls unconscious next to her fallen comrades. Surrounded by defeat, Lorna's mind reels. How could things go so wrong? How can a goblin possess such godlike power? Pure despair washes over her. She's completely broken. Memories of her father and mentor flash by as she lies defeated. The colossal beast looms over her, its gaze suffocating. Its eyes burn with murderous rage. Paralyzed by primal fear, she breaks down, desperately sobbing for a savior. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream echoes through the woods. Nearby soldiers freeze. They know that voice anywhere. It's Lorna. Disaster has struck. A soldier tries to soothe His Highness, insisting that, as elite commanders, victory is still guaranteed. A shadow wreathed in a sinister red aura emerges. What is that? Someone gasps. It's the Beast King, and he's brought company. He's carrying the young woman's limp, seemingly lifeless body. Panic erupts as one of the men recognizes her. "Give me back my daughter," he roars in a blind fury. His soldiers beg him to stay back. They're so close to winning. The Goblin King just watches, eerily calm. Suddenly, the commander lunges forward, his blade aimed straight for the beast's throat. The monster smirks, winding up a massive fist. The impact shatters the earth, sending the man face-planting hard into the dirt. Strikes rain upon the Titan. Shields up, the soldiers desperately jab their spears. "Finish it," the warrior bellows. Channeling his focus into a single point, a swirling fireball ignites with violent speed between his palms. Vaulting off a comrade's shield, he soars high above the Titan. His lethal blade whistles inches from its hideous snout, exploding into a blinding supernova of pure power. The goblin horde flees in terror, convinced their master has finally fallen. Exhausted and gasping, the man glares up at the king. Suddenly, a wild rush of adrenaline makes him tremble with manic joy. Clasping his face, a deep laugh escapes his throat. He arrogantly turns his back on the beast, declaring the battle won. He boasts of his legendary prowess, yet his allies remain frozen. Despite the direct hit, the nightmare is far from over. The monster still draws breath. Now the predator strikes back. As it lunges to devour him, he realizes he is doomed. With a sickening crunch, the goblin's jaws snap shut, ending the warrior's life. It savors the feast, hungering for more. The squad watches in paralyzed horror. They scream for Xiao Huan's aid, while the knight wonders if the beast is evolving. The creature lifts a limb bristling with jagged fangs. Its features distort into a nightmare. It's mutating into a true monster. It has reached level 80, a brutal goblin. Its power spikes to 3100, looming as massive as the Supreme Lord. Though the evolution is fresh, its presence is already soul-crushing. This level of raw power is absolutely terrifying to behold. As it prepares to feast again, the Goblin King watches in despair as his own soldiers are swallowed whole. They're finished. Their elites were wiped out. If this carnage isn't stopped, what hope remains for our hero's tribe? The Titan crushes its own subordinate underfoot. Terrified, a lone goblin vows to stay as the chief screams at the rest. Trembling with fear, he forbids any retreat. Step back and die. Yet the brutal goblin snarls as the horde scatters. They sprint toward the human lines. The command echoes across the field. Fall back to the city. Seal the gates immediately. The horde surges as the beast orders total extermination. From the clouds, Lin watches the chaos head for the city walls. A plan begins to form. Bringing fingers to his lips, he lets out a sharp whistle, signaling his dragon to strike. The command is set. Seize them all. Suddenly, a brilliant flare ignites the horizon as lightning arcs low across the ground. Could he be back? Sensing the shift, the young man urges a frantic retreat into the castle. Things are looking grim. The chief orders their exit. "I'll make your death quick," the man retorts, his voice dripping with icy irritation. He lacks what they seek, so he demands they stop stalling. Talk is cheap, negotiating with these monsters is a waste. The beast questions him before vanishing in a blur. Instantly it grips the warrior, demanding the truth about the missing ring. He denied having it. Suddenly, a massive thunderbolt slams into the monster. The creature roars, its jaws gaping in sudden agony. A blade aims for its heart. Bleeding it stares as the weapon embeds in the earth. A figure stands poised atop the hilt. A warrior balances on the sword's tip. An eerie azure energy flares, catching the stunned goblin chief completely off guard. That power binds the beast in a crushing aura. Gripping his weapon tight, the legendary marshal takes command of the field. The spearman's arm is shrouded in a sinister dark mist. He isn't alone. Emma and Austin have finally arrived to assist. Austin scoffs at the grand entrance. Nearby, a man cries out in awe. The Holy Sword Master has finally appeared. The elite Hunters Guild has mobilized. Meanwhile, from the shadows of the city, our protagonist watches the entire stage unfold. Their arrival ruins his strategy. Now a violent struggle erupts in the very heart of the city's main square. The twisted beast rampages blindly, unable to distinguish friend from foe. Having feasted on its own kind, it thrives on chaos. It possesses a horrific cannibalistic trait. By devouring other goblins, it heals instantly. Lin notes this rare savage talent. Yet given the severity of its wounds, full recovery will take time. The result is almost exactly as he anticipated. The squad whispers in shock. A neck shot failed. As a Lord-class entity, it'll take much more than that to die. The beast understands them. It pleads for a truce, claiming it's just a simple goblin, seeking to avoid further bloodshed. It promises to vanish into the Great Tomb if spared. The Holy Sword Master bristles. Are you from the Great Tomb? The monster confirms its origin, pointing the finger at the man who allegedly stole their precious ring. He denies stealing from trash mobs. Sensing a conspiracy, the Swordmaster suspects that Troublesome Brat is behind this mess. Austin asks for clarification. She explains that a goblin from the distant Great Tomb being here makes no sense at all. The distance is too vast. They wonder if this was a calculated trap designed to leave both sides completely decimated. Could a goblin orchestrate this? She doesn't care. It killed Stanman, and there will be no mercy for the creature. A feral grin spreads across Austin's face. He begs to handle the monster. Sensing doom, the creature recoils in fear. Suddenly, a violent vortex of raw energy erupts between them. Desperate, the monster scrambles to shield its vital organs. Slithering through the chaos, he tries to vanish. The masked Swordmaster immediately clocks his origin. As the dragon soars, our hero makes his grand entrance. Lin eyes that goblin like a gourmet snack. Dying by their hands is too boring. He'll assist its escape. He commands the dragon to tail the brute, but the Swordmaster won't let go. She curses the beast, stunned it can manipulate the wind so effortlessly. Leaping after the creature, she's certain it's him. Suddenly, she unleashes a lethal barrage toward our hero. He orders the dragon to bank hard. He stays airborne with that relentless woman glued to his tail. Those strikes won't kill him, but they're a massive headache. Helpless, the Swordmaster watches the goblin vanish. She screams, a blood-curdling vow of vengeance. Lin realizes she's a monster in her own right. He'll handle her when the odds are better. Meanwhile, something feral crashes through the dense tree line, the brute. Smashing through timber, the beast seeks cover. But deep within it stumbles upon something bizarre. It catches the scent of kin. Memory flashes back to the ring thief that man claimed innocence. It dawns on the beast, the thief wants the ring, and he's still here. It slams a massive fist into the rock. The wall shatters. Inside, elves huddle in fear. The creature growls, asking what happens if he enters. One elf demands a fight, but another reminds them of the leader's order, stay hidden. The goblin hunter arrives calm and composed. She trusts him implicitly. He won't let them down. Something catches the beast's eye. It faces our hero, shocked by his lightning-fast arrival. You're in my hunting grounds now, he sneers. While he arms himself, the dragon breathes, incinerating flames. The beast parkours through the fire, landing a heavy blow on the dragon. Dust chokes the battlefield. Through the haze, it spots the magic ring on the hero's finger. It demands an explanation immediately. Snarling, it accuses this lowly human of theft, ordering him to surrender the relic at once. Our hero plays it cool, asking what happens if he refuses. The beast's eyes burn with pure hatred. Then you die, it roars, lunging forward. Its massive fist shatters the earth instead of him. Lin sidesteps, effortlessly mocking the brute. He wonders how such a beefy body can be so slow. He lunges, pressuring the monster. Suddenly, a notification pings. New skill acquired, residual howl. The monster bellows in rage. Lin triggers his new skill, unleashing a devastating wave of raw energy. The beast collapses. It was a total gamble, but the skill came through just in time. Suddenly, a brutal gut punch sends him flying. He hits the deck hard, but the beast keeps coming. It rains down, blows, while he struggles to parry. He quickly checks the terminal for its power level. Its combat power is 2100. Thankfully, it's still weakened from the previous clash. The beast is stunned by his resilience. With a flashy feint, our hero strikes from a blind spot. It bellows in agony as the blow dazes its senses. Victory slips through its fingers. The tables have turned. Defeated, the hero notes the beast has no supplies left to regenerate. Now it's game over. He admits he only spared it because it was the sole survivor. The hunter asks his next move, seal its soul. But the hero sighs. The original plan failed. Interference has blown his cover. He omits the fact that someone escaped through the subterranean tunnels. Finding them underground will be light work. The hunter asks what he intends to do with them. Isn't that the guy from the Great Mausoleum, he muses? Let's weaponize his story to finish him off. The hunter questions if it's safer to avoid the Great Mausoleum people entirely. This is the optimal path, he insists, sliding the ring on. Time for you to move. Alert the Great Mausoleum. Offer the ring so they can exact bloody vengeance for this atrocity. She nods, weapon in hand. Instantly, she triggers her unique ability on the fallen beast. She commands it to rise. The brute stands, pledging absolute undying loyalty to its new master. A distant royal decree calls it elsewhere. Meanwhile, a notification pings on the hero's terminal. Host has collected 300 blood points. Now you can summon a rank 6 obedient servant. He considers it for defense, but realizes a rank 6 summon only matches a brute's power level. With the holy sword, he could easily solo 3 of them. Still, snagging a new skill felt like the real pro move. It's all about the grind. Twisted Fusion literally rips stats from enemies and welds them onto his own soul. But it won't grant innate traits. Ruin Attack is the real meta-shattering holy defenses while dealing massive raw damage. Stacking Distortion with Gene skills is broken. Imagine rocking dragon wings or snatching Medusa's eyes to petrify the entire battlefield. Ruin is the only system breaker, but he lacks a fusion partner. Luckily, the Ruin swap was a total success. The host triggered a miracle of life, regenerating 3000 HP instantly. Lin is absolutely vibing with these results. The goblins are clueless, but the gene crisis is officially solved. Even the maids are demanding to know the boss's secret. The young lady shoots her shot, asking for some quality time. He shuts it down fast, no distractions for now. That human trashed us and stole 2 relics, a battered lackey cries. Nearby, a broken warrior weeps, apologizing to his family. As the boss approaches the cell, the prisoner collapses frantically, chanting his name like a man possessed by demons. He begs for news of his father. They were crushed by Supreme Lord Lin Tian. The guard laughs, enjoying the despair. The broken man regrets ever trying to outsmart him. Now he just prays his sister is still drawing breath somewhere. Hoping for a future rescue is his only light. Suddenly, he snaps, slamming his head against the stone until everything goes black. Lin Tian watches the tragic display unmoved. He wonders why the guy chose torture over just letting go of his pride. Eventually, his cold fury fades. He hopes the edge of a blade will finally silence the man's agony for good. Deep in the Great Tomb's forest, a goblin scout calls for Lord Niu, the legendary titan of the Beast King tribe. "Are you home, Great One?" He trembles. Suddenly, a massive shadow-casting paw drops, nearly scaring the soul out of him. A mountain-sized monster looms over him, demanding answers. The goblin explains he's just reclaiming what the humans stole. He's face-to-face with Niu the Ghost Bull, a literal man-eating nightmare. This beast doesn't play around with thieves. The relic was forged by Niu's own spectral kin. Returning it isn't just a gift, it's restoring the rightful bloodline. The Titan inspects the ring with a predatory gaze. "What's the price?" he growls, as the goblin begs for backup. Facing the beast's overwhelming aura, he explains the church's treaty prevents them from invading human lands directly. But there's a loophole. He promises to make Niu a lord if he unleashes his primitive rage upon the humans. "The immortals will have your back," he whispers. Niu agrees. It's been way too long since he tasted fresh human flesh. Back at the den, our hero checks the system terminal. Level 70, the power creep is getting real now. Even with maxed skills, the Holy Sword's 4 to 1000 power is terrifying. He'll need Cayman to even stand a chance. He's so close to the peak. Together, they've basically engineered a private army of high-tier heroes. The era of hiding in the shadows is over. Suddenly, the Huntress pings him with an urgent update. The brutal goblin has arrived at the gates with a full squad. As he gears up, she catches his arm. She pulls him into a hug, offering to march on Guangming City together. He declines. This is a solo mission. He's only there for the Holy Sword. If things go south, having teammates around just makes him move slower. "I've ordered the brutal goblin to serve you," she warns. "If you fail me, the punishment will be creative." Lin smirks, wondering who's really punishing who in this dynamic. She watches him walk away, totally captivated. Our hero greets the massive goblin general with a roast. "Is your squad always this pale? You guys look dead." The monsters stare back with cold, murderous eyes. It's like standing in front of a buffet for man-eating ghosts. This Phoenix-class leader is a total egomaniac. Honestly, the vibes in this group are straight-up toxic. The creature tells Niu to chill. The goblin's strength is legit. "Cut the chatter," Niu grunts. "Just lead the way." Our hero stays silent, observing the power dynamics. Elsewhere, the enemy prepares, fearing the legendary woman of the blade. The monster scoffed at her power. He prefers his prey with a little fight. Suddenly, a massive earthquake shatters the silence. Look at the horizon, a guard screams. A stampede of ghost bulls is charging in, and the city enters pure panic. Screams fill the air as the invasion begins. Our hero realizes that while bulls are scary, smart goblins are the real threat. This city will be mine soon, Lin thinks. The bulls are having the time of their lives hunting fresh meat. Just as a bull prepares to feast, a devastating shockwave slams it down. The terrified citizen looks up in shock. A squad of elite adventurers has arrived, led by the Holy Sword itself. Why are these beasts here? The leader growls. They recognize the guy from the Great Tomb immediately. Shh. We should have ended him when we had the chance. The Holy Sword admits her blunder. Ignited by resolve, she vows to correct the failing and lunges at the beast. On her path, she cleaves through ghost bulls. A momentary lapse lets the behemoth strike, shattering the earth into a cloud of debris. Emerging from the haze, the warrior holds the impact at bay. The creature reels in shock, while our protagonist observes from above. He concludes they are deadlocked in power. Sensing an opportunity to strike while she is occupied, his gaze shifts to a new target. That warrior locks eyes with the brutal goblin. As he begins to vanish into the terrain, he swears a blood oath to slay the monster. This was the opening our hero anticipated. Channeling his essence, he unleashes a lethal rain of projectiles upon his target. It is over in a flash as the man collapses. The beast lunges to feast, catching the attention of his desperate comrade. She desperately looses arrows to save him, but a cyclone of magic intercepts them. As she stammers in confusion, our hero makes his entrance. Bragging about his own sharpened lethality, he commands the brutal goblin to yield the prey and assist the ghosts. The monster obeys instantly. He approaches the fallen man with a sinister grin and activates his devour ability. Nearby, the elf watches in pure, unadulterated terror. The veteran warrior slaughters another ghost bull, cursing the abominations. He then pivots and hurls himself toward our hero. He executes a devastating martial art strike, yet our hero remains eerily motionless. At the final millisecond, he sidesteps the blow, driving the old man into a blind frenzy. Our hero triggers a super skill, leaving the warrior completely defenseless. A scream of agony escapes the elf. From her vantage point, she watches our hero consume her fallen allies. With the veteran broken, the woman reels from the loss of her elite squad. Meanwhile, our hero feels a familiar surge. He finally hits level 75 as raw energy crackles around him. Desperate, the elf notches an arrow and lets fly. The projectile pierces his shoulder. Caught off guard, he spots a second lethal shot screaming through the air. He narrowly evades the barrage. Shaken by the close call, he realizes the elf is hell-bent on taking his life. Dodging frantically, he credits the stone barrier for his survival. He signals his subordinate to bring the structure down. The monstrosity slams into the tower with world-shaking force, reducing it to piles of rubble. Seeing the danger, the elf retreats, but our hero is already countering. He levels his crossbow and fires a bolt her way. She flinches as the projectile grazes her, leaping backward to gain distance. Our hero notes her narrow escape. He decides to play the long game, waiting for her abilities to recharge. He turns and sprints away, faking a desperate escape. She prepares another shot, mocking his attempt to hide. He continues to weave through the chaos as best he can. Suddenly, he spots a flaw in her rhythm. Her fatigue is finally showing, and her divine strength is leaking away. She tries to push through the exhaustion, but collapses to the dirt. The brutal goblin looms over her, ready to strike. Eager to feed the beast is halted by our hero's sharp command to back off. He stalks toward the fallen elf. Impressed by her iron will, he decides she is too valuable to consume. He scoops her into his arms and vanishes. Later, the elf jolts awake in a strange place, panic flooding her senses. The first face she sees is the one she fears most. Bound and helpless, she demands to know what the goblin has planned. He merely offers a chilling promise of things to come. Elsewhere, the Holy Sword continues her massacre of the ghost bulls. Wiping her blade, she scoffs at the difficulty. She admits the last foe was a struggle. Then a thunderous boom echoes, revealing Emma on the brink of ending it all. She bursts into a sprint to intervene. As the girl falters, the woman reaches her just before she hits the ground. Pleading for her to hold on, the elf sobs that their comrades have all been slaughtered. She looks up at Alice. Fearing a fate worse than death at the hands of goblins, she begs for vengeance. The bulls mock them, claiming her soul will crown a new chief. Rage ignites in the woman's eyes as she grips her hilt. She stares down the monsters with murderous intent. Declaring their end, she suddenly plunges her own blade into her chest. The battlefield falls into a stunned silence. Seconds later, she ascends like a star wreathed in overwhelming holy fire. The Count watches in absolute horror. She commands the soldiers to flee or be erased by the coming storm. The men scramble in terror, witnessing a power beyond comprehension. They realize she is far more terrifying than any monster. In the city's heart, our hero feels a shift in the atmosphere. He looks skyward at the saints' terrifying transformation. That massive holy pressure signals nothing but disaster. The bulls begin to waver. They attempt to flee, but the divine wrath is too swift. The Holy Sword invokes the Holy Inquisition, purging everything in sight. The monsters are vaporized as a colossal rift scars the city landscape. Finally, she drifts down, reverting to her mortal state. Her power level registers at 5,000 on the display. Surveying the ruins, our hero realizes he barely escaped that nightmare. He mistook her for a simple swordswoman, yet she wields magic like a grand mage. He stands in awe of the invincible Holy Sword, who'll shield the realm with her soul. The troops roar in pure adoration, hailing their savior. She flinches as her self-inflicted scar stings. The HUD reveals her stats plummeting to 2,500. Lynn smirks, enjoying the view. She spits back that the hunt isn't over, the true monster still breathes. She lunges for a vial, but a crushing blow intercepts her. As the dust settles, the protagonist finally steps into the light. High above the tower, a voice curses his low-tier ambush tactics. He calmly tells her to fix her bleeding side. Let us handle the rest. Our lead tilts his head, questioning that insult. The knight charges, screaming, "You coward." A split second later, the knight eats dirt. Lin shakes his head. That wasn't the answer he was looking for. Try the line before that. He mocks the man, asking if he finally realizes he's just a goblin's plaything. The battalion swarms, thirsty for vengeance for their fallen duke. Our hero steadies himself and tears through their ranks. He mows them down like grass. A soldier bellows to hold the line, desperate to buy their saintess time to heal. Give your lives for the cause. Then steel shatters his chest plate. Suddenly, our hero is breathing down his neck. With a limb skewering his chest, the soldier's eyes bulge in shock. The Goblin King whispers, "You're liberated now. But I'm claiming your heart first." The knight collapses, utterly broken, with a gaping void where his soul used to be. Seeing the carnage, the saintess snaps and lunges. He weaves to counter, but her lightning-fast kick catches him off guard. The block barely holds as the shockwave launches him back. Even nerfed her, overwhelming pressure is no joke. He triggers an AoE skill that rattles the entire squad. Stunned for a beat, she retaliates with a blast of pure light. He glides away, realizing his beast techniques are ineffective. This stalemate is just a recipe for a double knockout. Her divine attributes are a hard counter to his darkness. "This ends today," she declares, launching another fierce assault. Lin taunts her, asking how losing tastes. She rockets forward, screaming for him to shut it as she delivers a heavy strike. Her target vanishes into thin air. Scanning the battlefield, she bellows for the troops to rally and slaughter the beast. Our lead hurls a terrified soldier at her. While she's occupied, the Goblin King blitzes the remaining squad, dropping them instantly. He's got the speed advantage, using human meat shields to dance around her. She pursues him, cursing his disgusting tactics. He's just baiting her, waiting for the perfect opening for his ruin magic. An hour in broken soldiers plead for a mercy kill. The agony is too much. Our lead suggests a ceasefire, but a dying man whimpers that hope is already gone. Her rage boils over as she commands him to stand still. He just shrugs and hides behind another human shield. The plan is in motion. She's losing her mind. She swings wildly while he casually treats her own men like barricades. Lin grins, mocking her. "You're much more efficient at slaughtering your own kind than you are at hunting monsters." Horror washes over her face. Reality finally crashes down and her blade clatters against the cold stone floor. She's butchered the innocents she swore to shield. Her spirit fractures, and Lin knows this is the ultimate opening. He charges his ruin strike. A heartbeat later, he pierces her chest. She collapses as the heavens finally open up. Her divine aura dissipates. She whimpers to the heavens, swearing she'll save everyone, pleading that this wasn't her doing. She cries out, asking if her gods have forsaken her before passing out. Lin knows ruin corruption is a one-way trip. Her holy mana is officially dead. He figures she could be useful in tearing down these ancient religious lies. Together, they'll rule. Amidst the thunder, our hero preps for his next evolution. Suddenly, a mutant goblin scrambles toward him. The church is here. This news grinds the leader's gears. He's put in too much work for interruptions. The Holy Cross bishops arrive in force. Our hero rises quickly, standing tall before a mountain of fallen knights. Their commander glares at the fallen saintess, assuming she's just another accident in this chaotic mess. He underestimates our guy as a lowly goblin, though he suspects a massive threat lurks behind that small frame. Standard villain behavior, he commands his zealots to bring peace by slaughtering everything in God's name. Radiating holy energy, they scream to purge the demon. The pressure makes our hero sweat as they charge headlong at him. They strike relentlessly as his mana shield flickers. He's surprised that these armored tanks can move with such terrifying speed. Their stats hit a massive 3,000. He focuses entirely on evasion, weaving through their synchronized attacks. These guys are the real deal, but he's not backing down. It's time to let another ruin blast fly. A direct hit sends one knight reeling, stunning the rest. The soldier shrieks as his holy mana is forcibly ripped out. "Fall back," they scream. Using the chaos, our hero vanishes. To them, he's no longer just a goblin, he's a nightmare. Lin's heart races as he senses the church's 3,000 units of pure power. Abort. We're retreating immediately. The Knight Commander signals a full withdrawal. That child needs a priest's holy cleansing right now, or disgrace will consume her soul. A soldier questions the goblin plague, but the bishop coldly dismisses him. It's far too late for prayers now. He declares that God has handpicked a fresh vessel. The search is over. She belongs to the heavens now. Our protagonist eventually slips away. Ash fills the air from burned corpses, yet the ghost bull's massive frame remains untouched. Seizing the opportunity, he returns to the lair. The girls rush out, eyes wide, sensing his aura has reached terrifying new heights. Lin reveals the shocking truth. The holy sword serves only him now. The huntress gasps, asking if he truly broke her spirit. He nods, confirming his total dominance. Honestly, those church pests ruined what should have been a perfect moment. Suddenly the woman pounces, her eyes gleaming. "You're perfect," she purrs, making no secret of her burning obsession with him. Lin begs for a breather. He has serious business to discuss. This victory wasn't just for show, it bought them precious time. They desperately need a fortress. To survive human vengeance, they must find a sanctuary where no mortal dares to tread. He points toward a legendary forbidden zone, the Great Tomb. Even the church's bravest fanatics wouldn't dare step foot inside. The tribe prepares for the exodus, while Lin watches over them. This new domain will be the perfect cradle for his goblin empire. The church's pact with the tomb keeps them safe, but his army is lacking. It's time to gather more human females. He issues a chilling order: take prisoners alive. But if anyone dares to resist, do whatever you want with them. After raiding 10 villages, they've secured 230 women. It's a start, but his hunger for more is insatiable. Lin sets his sights on a larger target. As they approach the town, he signals his troops to prepare for war. A local scoffs at the looting goblins. "I've stacked enough goblin heads to touch the clouds," he laughs arrogantly. A nervous soldier questions the threat. "Guard the gate and shut up," his captain barks. "These monsters are no joke." One man laughs, dismissing them as oversized pests. "I'm a high-tier adventurer. I could crush any so-called hero like a bug." He's a level 50 powerhouse. The mayor warns the terrified citizens the tide of monsters is finally here. Goblins are at the gates. The soldiers gear up, turning the impending slaughter into a sick game to see who kills most. They even bet on a penalty for the lowest score. That arrogant man scoffs, telling everyone else to go take a nap. Then, the world trembles. Everyone looks up in horror as a colossal dragon shadows the sun, with Lin perched atop his throne. Panic explodes as soldiers realize the goblins have dragon support. Fear paralyzes them before they turn and bolt away. The scouts were wrong. These are true monsters. Lin smirks, finding it amusing that these humans actually thought they stood a chance today. He gives the signal, attack. Within minutes, the city is a chaotic battlefield. Someone screams for the level 50 adventurer, but he's cowering under a table, whimpering about whether these are actually goblins. A beast drags him out from his hiding spot. With one brutal strike, the powerful adventurer is left broken and defeated. He thought this would be a game. Soon, a monstrous assembly gathers as a gargantuan bird descends from the darkened sky. "Welcome to the Great Tomb," the bird screeches. "That human stench will bring every predator for miles straight to your throat." Lin admits the human scent is overpowering even for goblins. No wonder mortals treat this place like a death sentence. He reminds Lin to show gratitude to his lord. The creature stares at the crowd. "Why have you brought so many humans?" It gasps, realizing they're just breeding stock. "Did you forget the sacred treaty between the Great Tomb and the Holy Church?" Lin remains calm. "Don't worry, these were all captured before we ever stepped foot on this land." The bird seems satisfied. "If you need anything, find me. I'll ensure your tribe can flourish here without any outside interference." Lin bows in appreciation. "You're always welcome here if you ever decide to visit our new home," he adds. The creature replies that things aren't that simple. It needs to brief the higher-ups before anything else happens. Finally, Lin can work in peace. He checks the count. 3,000 goblins are ready, a solid start for his empire. But he wants more. Unfortunately, his experiments with mutant and dominant species were a total failure. None of them survived. It seems mass-producing those elite types is impossible for now. With a sigh, our hero exits the breeding hut. To bolster his low-level ranks, he needs to hunt down more beast-type monsters. It's time to expand the horde. Catching beasts is a hassle, so he fires up the simulation system instead. Technology is way more efficient than manual labor. The system projects a human ambush. He's stunned. How do these mortals have the audacity to invade the Great Tomb? The simulation takes a dark turn. He's crushed, forced into a desperate retreat with only a handful of survivors. Realizing he needs a counter-strategy, he gathers his minions. He demands to know the exact coordinates of the human lord's territories. The beast points toward the high forest. This is it, the perfect opportunity for our MC to end this headache for good. 1 month passes. His avian ally delivers a chilling warning: those forbidden lands are strictly off-limits to any human soul. He mentions the Great Tomb's ancient pact with the church, but our hero knows better danger is brewing on the horizon. An enemy legion is closing in. Given their history, they won't hesitate to draw blood, regardless of any old treaties. The creature nods but warns that the tomb's guardians won't stand for humans trespassing on their sacred ancient ground. He takes flight to deliver a report promising a later rendezvous. Lin expresses her gratitude, while a nearby knight declares their mission total goblin annihilation. They're dead set on breaching the Great Tomb no matter the cost. The soldiers roar in agreement. Suddenly, a dragon shadows the sky. The commander gapes. Is that a goblin on its back? It's exactly like the reports described. Is that monster really the infamous Goblin King, who leveled dozens of villages and cities? Our MC taunts them from above. Did you losers seriously forget the sacred pact between the church and the tomb? The leader sneers, calling him a pathetic runaway rat. As far as they're concerned, that contract is just worthless scrap paper. If they strike him down, he gestures behind. See that army? They're thirsting for vengeance for Alice and my grandfather. Realizing he holds the cards, our hero begins psychological warfare, mockingly mentioning their precious holy sword. The commander snaps, screaming for silence. He vows to grind them all to dust. Even our hero is surprised by this meltdown. A cautious knight pleads for restraint. Their scouts are missing, and a blind charge could lead them straight into a meat grinder. Lin interrupts, pointing toward a lone figure. You mean him? 10 minutes prior, those scouts were spying on the encampment, horrified by the sheer number of enslaved souls. But their luck ran out when a goblin patrol intercepted them. Listen up, total extermination, the leader bellows. The soldiers draw their steel, preparing for a bloody one-sided massacre. The hot-headed youth jeers, mocking their fear. This is what you get when you poke a sleeping lion. A new presence challenges him. A massive avian entity descends, radiating an overwhelming, suffocating aura of pure power. It's the man-eating eagle, the kid screams. The eagle man lands his sharp eyes, scanning the trembling enemy ranks. Long time no see, church zealots. Did you trash our contract? A knight barks back. They're acting on the Pope's direct orders. You're too low level to negotiate, the knight sneers. The eagle man chuckles. And you're too arrogant to keep breathing. The knight's only goal is goblin genocide. If the eagle man stands in his way, he'll be just another corpse on the pile. He spurs his mount, commanding a full-scale charge. High above, the beast takes flight, eyes burning with ancient divine fury. You really think you can treat the great tomb like a public park? The beast roars. The knight glares upward. Is the tomb seriously shielding these pests? The eagle man smirks. Believe what you want. Chilling silence falls over the battlefield. He urges his majesty to retreat, but the king isn't having it. He wants that winged freak's head on a pike. It's not a retreat, it's a tactical reset, the knight insists. High above, our hero observes the disciplined ranks below. The Lord went all out just for me, our hero muses. The eagle man corrects him. This is about showing the church who's boss. The boys are itching for a fight, the eagle man adds. Level up your tribe, become the Goblin King, and unlock your destiny. Then the royal tomb opens to you. Lin's eyes light up. The loot inside that place is straight up legendary. Back at the church, angry mobs scream for the holy sword and the goblin's execution. How is she still holy? They jeer. She's repulsive. The high official is losing his mind over this goblin fiasco. He's trapped between a rock and a hard place. With the public revolting, he storms toward Alice's chambers. He kicks the door open, and his heart stops in shock. Rage boils in his veins. Alice is actually nursing a baby goblin. He never thought she'd sink this low for a monster. I should have purged that thing sooner, he bellows. Step aside, Alice, or you're getting hurt too. He lunges at the infant, but Alice intercepts. She catches the blade with her bare palms, blood dripping as she defies him. I'm doing this for the Empire's glory, he screams. He's determined to drag her back to her rightful path by force. She unsheathes her steel, matching his killing intent. He's paralyzed by her resolve. Are you really going this far, father? Suddenly, a devastating tidal wave of holy energy obliterates the room. Even the king is caught off guard by the power. The cardinal emerges, smirking. He unleashed a high-tier holy spell, instantly manifesting divine bars to cage the fallen saint. I had this under control, the king snaps. Alice screams in agony, begging for divine judgment instead of this betrayal. My power. It's gone, she whispers. The cardinal sneers. God didn't turn his back on you. You walked away from him. Hand the goblin over to me, he commands, addressing her as Princess Alice. Blinding holy light surges into the boy. Watching helplessly from behind bars, his mother lets out a blood-curdling scream. Cheers erupt outside. The mob celebrates the monster's end, demanding to know where that damn holy sword is hidden. The boy is unceremoniously tossed at their feet. Consider the job done, a voice coldly declares. He issues a chilling warning. Any slander against the holy sword will be met with lethal consequences. Terror silences the crowd. The next morning, a frantic report reaches His Majesty. Princess Alice has vanished. As the man spirals into panic, a mutant goblin grins elsewhere. He's finally unlocked the power of magic. The tribe celebrates, eager to feast and level up. But our hero quickly puts a stop to that nonsense. They need to seize the initiative to grow stronger, but the outside world absolutely terrifies them. Leon questions if they're truly safe. Fearing the boss's wrath, they desperately agree to finally step outside. Another beast claims it needs to vent its surging power and offers to help. Our hero suspects a setup. These guys just want a free lunch. Suddenly, something piques his interest. The Eagle Lord arrives, recommending a visit to another ruler. Our hero agrees, eager to meet more lords. He's already low-key hyped, picking out who he's going to blame when things eventually go south. Hope you don't mind, the Eagle Man says, revealing the Golden Lizard Lord standing right behind him. He scans him level 88, with power near 4,000. Honestly, not that impressive. He asks if humans are on the menu. The lizard hisses that they're delicious and suggests a split. But the Eagle Man cuts in, reminding him of his promise to only accept one after being accepted. The lizard scoffs that everything belongs to him, questioning if a lowly goblin's life has any value. Not much, the Eagle Man admits, but I have the final say here. The lizard tells him to stop playing. He notes, the Eagle Man has never tasted humans, claiming he's been fair enough. It's time to feast. Our hero interrupts, telling him to quit bugging them. He doubts the lizard could even finish a full meal. The lizard snaps, calling him an inferior brat. Instantly, the Eagle Man steps in to shield our hero. This is my final warning, he growls. Leave now, or you won't be walking back in one piece. The creature retorts that, if he wants the humans, he should just offer to slaughter the goblin instead. Then they can feast. Enraged, the Eagle Man strikes first. The creature hisses that he's really done it now. He vows that once the Eagle Man is gone, he'll return to annihilate everyone. Then the beast retreats. The Eagle Man apologizes, shocked by the lizard's ambition, then explains the power of the Great Tomb's leader. They could execute him now, or simply let him take over as the new lord of the lizardmen. He suddenly realizes he could actually summon mythical creatures just like that one. But he'd lose the freedom to hunt monsters whenever he wanted. He decides leading them isn't for him. As his subordinates feast, he feels the rush of evolution. He's becoming significantly larger and much stronger. He tests his new strength on the nearby trees, hyped to see just how much he's leveled up. A small creature approaches the lake to drink. Suddenly, a hand lunges out and drags it underwater. It looked young, but it's already 3 feet long. They note how delicious and fragrant the meat is. The taste is basically on par with human meat. Suddenly, he gets a genius idea to find more. In the village, a lizard grumbles that the woman's son is being reckless and will definitely get caught. She brushes it off, confident her lord husband can handle anything. Suddenly, a voice asks, looking for this. She whips toward the bushes. A skeleton is tossed at her feet, leaving her paralyzed with horror. She screams, demanding to know who he is, and shouting about the lord's territory. The goblin just scoffs. He tells her to forget it because she's pretty. Suddenly, an armed lizard rushes in, screaming about disrespect. The lizard lunges to attack, but a mutant goblin drops him instantly. The goblins easily seize the upper hand. The woman shrieks for help during the invasion. The lizardmen brace themselves, but the goblins strike with overwhelming power. Eventually, they begin feasting on the creatures. A failed ambush attempt is met with a swift, brutal counterattack. He orders them back, dragging a prisoner along. Survivors wail for their lord as another lizard sprints toward them. Hurry, save them, he screams in pure agony. Those filthy goblins snatched his family away, and he is absolutely reeling from the shock. Having just left the goblin den, he is skeptical. There is no way those runts could pull off a slaughter that quickly. The lord catches a whiff of his wife's perfume tangled with goblin stench. Cursing their wretched souls, he takes off like a bullet. Vowing to annihilate every last one of them, he sprints back. Suddenly, a shout rings out. The scouts found some high-tier loot for the boss. Intrigued, our hero notices something crazy they have evolved. He is low-key impressed by their growth while carefully gauging their new power levels. He starts theorizing how this evolution triggered. Plus, if he crafts some epic gear for them, their combat stats will absolutely skyrocket. A piercing scream shatters the air. Unhand us, you monsters, the woman shrieks boldly, claiming her status as the High Lord's wife. She threatens them with the Lord's divine wrath, but a goblin just palms her face like a basketball, growling for her to shut up. Grinning, the goblin presents his prizes, a mother and daughter duo for the boss. Our hero watches, wondering where these captives came from. Hearing all this lord talk, he questions if they are from the Cursed Temple's Lizardman tribe. The woman desperately nods, confirming his suspicion. She warns that her husband's vengeance is coming, but Linen just wonders, could this truly be the legendary sovereign of the Lizardmen? Who dared to threaten my entire bloodline with extinction? Her face drains of color as the cold words echo. Then in a heartbeat, steel flashes as he slams into one, sending her crashing down. The goblin chief snarls that those two are now their property. Cheers erupt as the monsters shower their leader with praise. The beasts scramble wildly, brawling over who gets the first bite. Linen demands the fate of the remaining tribe. His lackey grins, admitting most were devoured, while a lucky few were spared. To keep the cycle going, Linen's eyes widen slightly. The goblins freeze in terror, fearing his wrath, but he calls it absolutely magnificent. He lets out a dark laugh, praising them as top-tier entertainers. The creature bows, claiming his master's praise is far too generous. Just doing my job, boss. Linen muses, curious to see if the lizard man is as broken as his pathetic tribe. Back at the ruins, the lizard man erupts in fury. He curses the goblins, screaming for his wife and child's return. Then he spots a nightmare, a swarm of goblins feasting on his kin. The realization hits those are his own wife and daughter. Our hero steps forward, admitting his arrival was tragically late. The beast snarls that today, no one from his tribe survives. This debt gets paid in blood. He spits at our hero in defiance. Linen counters instantly, landing a devastating direct blow. Before the beast can even breathe, he lunges, burying a lethal blow deep into its chest. The monster's realization comes too late. The creature retreats, clutching its gash in shock. What was that? He snarls, his mind still reeling from that sudden blackout. If you're begging for death, I'll oblige, our protagonist sneers. Remember, this is the East. You have no power to summon lackeys here. Enraged, the lizard hisses that he'll slaughter them alone. Dark energy surges and his jagged wound begins to knit back together. His presence swells, turning monstrous and oppressive. Tell me, he mocks, what can a mere goblin like you actually do? The goblin squad panics, shouting warnings that this foe is no joke. Unfazed, our hero begins calculating a strategy for the kill. Suddenly, a blade erupts through the monster's sternum. Our hero freezes his brain, struggling to process this impossible turn of events. The beast is bifurcated in one clean stroke. Standing behind the gore is the holy sword, ragged and wearing a hollow expression. Finally, found you, she whispers. The tribe descends into chaos, convinced this terrifying intruder is about to massacre them all. However, her strength is clearly spent. Seconds later, she crumples to the dirt. Linen watches, completely shell-shocked by her sudden fall. Even half dead with a rusted blade, she deleted that lizard instantly. He realizes he's lucky she's out cold right now. His minions immediately itch to finish her off for their leader's glory. Meanwhile, the other two remain paralyzed, just staring at her. It's like they're witnessing a legend. Relax, she's unconscious, our hero barks. The others flip out. Wait, who said we're killing her? She's worth a fortune alive, he declares. As she lies there, motionless darkness finally blankets the goblin camp. A female goblin pokes at the human, her eyes widening. Wow, she's so squishy and soft, she squeals in pure fascination. Gradually, the holy sword's aura begins to stir. It's been a hot minute since our last encounter, our hero muses quietly. Fear is absent from her eyes. She starts shouting about finding the goblins at last, her voice filled with weirdly joyful excitement. The chief stiffens, warning her against any reckless moves. She's clearly too drained to fight, yet she drags herself upright regardless. She keeps chanting goblin like a broken record, confusing our hero. Don't just stand there, he screams at his useless crew. I didn't train you to be spectators. Pin her down, he commands. The muscle of the group finally steps forward to act. He lunges for her restraints, but she slips away like a shadow. In a literal heartbeat, she's inches from our hero's face. Blindsided, the servants lose their minds. We're cooked, they wail, certain their boss is about to be ended because of them. Out of nowhere, she hits her knees, leaving him completely blindsided. She's not looking for a war. She's begging him for another child. Everyone's jaw drops at her desperate plea. Lin scoffs, asking if she truly mistakes him for some divine deity of fertility. She's dead serious. Their blood feud ends only if he grants her another heir. Otherwise, forgiveness is off the table forever. Lin questions if they shared a past child and what fate befell them. Meanwhile, she frantically prays to her god. She pleads for mercy for her unfinished penance, blaming those cursed villagers while desperately begging for one last shot at redemption. Lin catches on. She views the child as a divine curse, a delusion that has completely shattered her fragile sanity. In reality, she's just masking the guilt of her crimes. Lin declares that the heavens are absolutely livid with her. Since she slaughtered her own kin, any hope for a child comes with heavy conditions. Desperate, she vows to accept any terms. He demands total obedience. She must endure a period of atonement, accepting this grueling process as part of her rightful sentence. He knows she'd be a beast on the battlefield. Resolute, she swears to fulfill this divine penance to the letter. Satisfied, he clears the room. As the woman prepares herself, she looks to him, pleading for his assistance in the task. The goblin chief decides not to hold back since she's practically begging. Surprisingly, she seems to be vibing with the intensity. The vampire warns the hunter to quit playing. That woman is the legendary sword saint, the goat of all warriors. Doubts vanish as she sees the woman slumbering peacefully. She freezes, completely baffled by how such a powerhouse ended up here. The hunter shudders, imagining the absolute chaos that would erupt if the Empire ever caught wind of this insane situation. When asked about his plans for her, Lin orders a strict watch. She isn't allowed to slip away under any circumstances. Next, she's sent to clean up and get fresh clothes. Without a word of protest, she immediately heads off to comply. Lin inquires about the body count from the recent plague. He demands the corpses be prepped today for his next move. Realizing the lizard man's demise will alert the Tomb Lord, Lin decides it's time for another sit-down with the Eagle Tribe leader. He arrives at the Eagle Tribe, where shock ripples through the crowd. His ally insists that no explanations are even necessary. Stepping into the lizard man's shoes could smooth things over with the Great Tomb, but Lin isn't vibing with the Lord title. He wonders if a subordinate can lead instead. The Eagle Man admits it's doable, but the risks involved are sky high. Lin pushes for answers. The Eagle Man reveals a sinister demon is already gunning for the vacant seat of power. He could crush the demon, but his men would definitely get folded. This intel immediately catches Lin's full attention. This beast manipulates dreams to enslave its victims. The Hawkman notes that while it controls minds, its physical stats are trash. Its lack of raw power makes its dominance over the Lords intriguing. Lin realizes this could be the key to brainwashing the Holy Sword. By infiltrating her subconscious, he could force her absolute loyalty. He demands the Lord lead him to the demon right now. At the demon's lair, a shadowy figure emerges, offering twisted dreams. It's visibly stunned to find the Hawkman at its doorstep. It scoffs at the goblin's presence. Unfazed Lin offers a deal the demon can claim the title of Southern Lord. The catch: he must manipulate dreams. The demon laughs at his audacity until the Hawkman reveals Lin crushed the lizard man. The demon is skeptical but intrigued. It asks whose sweet dreams are about to become a living nightmare under Lin's orders. Lin targets a mere human. His ally questions the move, warning that making this demon a lord will anger the others. Lin halts him. A better plan just clicked. The Lord explains the demon is an intangible entity, with no physical form. Since it can't be eaten, it's lethal to those who resist. However, Lin recalls his unique power to absorb enemy traits. He can literally merge with his foes. While typical goblins are basic, Lin is built different. He orders the demon along. They'll talk details later. First, Lin needs to dissect the mechanics of its power, to weaponize it to the absolute max. The demon boasts that its gaze is a trap. Once you make eye contact, your mind belongs to him forever. Only those who realize they're dreaming can break free. Hyped Lin demands a live demonstration of this reality-bending ability. He's eager to see if illusions can outmatch cold steel. The Hawkman frantically yells at him to look away. The demon unleashes its mental assault and Lin's body goes limp. He hits the ground completely trapped in a deep trance. The demon scoffs, thinking he overhyped the goblin. Suddenly, Lin awakens near a raging volcano, annoyed as the earth shatters beneath him. He plunges into the searing lava. The demon cackles, declaring that Lin will rot in this nightmare until his soul expires. It mocks his survival, but Lin retaliates, with a sudden devastating strike. The demon is absolutely floored by the counterattack. Baffled, it demands answers. Lin reveals his trap in a dreamscape. You only die if your mind accepts the illusion. Lin mocks the demon's parlor tricks before lunging forward. He won't be fooled by cheap hallucinations as he closes the distance. A massive impact shatters the demon's form. Crumbling, it curses Lin with pure venom, swearing eternal vengeance while he prepares his finisher. A second blast sends the beast crashing down. Seizing the moment, he devours its remains to assimilate its dream-warping power. Terror fills the monster's eyes as its form disintegrates. Seconds later, the notification pings. Lin has successfully absorbed the ability. The Hawk Lord stands paralyzed by the grisly sight. Approaching with a shaky voice, he asks if Len's humanity is still intact. He presses for answers, but Len simply signals their departure. With the demon purged, their path is finally clear. Len claims he's found the ideal candidate for the vacancy. His ally nods, promising to vouch for him when the time comes. Returning to the tribe, he finds the holy sword lost in slumber. It's time to test his newfound dream-weaving skills. He infiltrates her subconscious, manifesting a nightmare, where an angry mob screams for a goblin's execution. They jeer and spit at her, demanding blood. Len realizes he stepped into her deepest, most agonizing memory of humiliation. This twisted reflection of his own past is perfect for his plan. Suddenly, a blinding radiance heralds a celestial descent. The crowd drops to their knees, hailing the divine. In their religious frenzy, they brand the woman a wretched demoness. They claim she desecrated the Holy Lands, shrieking for her death. Suddenly, a void yawns open behind her trembling form. Collapsing in despair, she pleads for divine mercy and absolution. The shimmering entity slowly extends its hand toward her. Holy light washes over the masses. The god asks if she truly grasps the weight of her transgressions. She confesses to failing those she swore to shield. Surprisingly, the entity dismisses this as a minor offense compared to others. Absolution comes with a price. He accuses her of shielding parasitic demons, labeling them as the height of greed and filth. He vilifies her friends, declaring her crime unforgivable. Desperation claws at her heart, as she insists she was only being loyal. Turning around, she watches her allies warp into grotesque monsters. The deity claims their survival cost her teammates their lives. The beasts hiss, venomous insults driving her toward a breakdown. Something inside her breaks and she lunges forward with a feral roar. Her blade becomes a blur of fury, leaving nothing but carnage. Exhausted, she kneels and reports her bloody success to God. The being asks if the scales have fallen from her eyes. These leeches used her strength while offering nothing but betrayal. He reveals they were the ones who struck when she was most vulnerable. She stands paralyzed, her reality shattering instantly. Clarity dawns on her. As their hands meet, he commands her to become the ultimate reaper of these demonic parasites. She yearns for her lost divinity. The entity promises its return only after the last demon is purged from existence. He mentions a guide has been dispatched for her holy crusade. Len awakes, stunned by the sheer mental tax of the manipulation. Drained but satisfied, he knows her old title is dead. From now on, she belongs entirely to his grand design. He instructs her to refuel for the divine task ahead. Wide-eyed, she questions how this goblin knows her secret vision. Doubts linger as she stares at her unlikely savior. Len cryptically remarks that the heaven's plans are for him to know. Could this monstrous creature truly be the messenger from her dream? Trembling, she asks what their first move will be. He keeps his cards close, merely whispering of destiny. Despite being level 60, her combat stats remain surprisingly underwhelming. She's a perfectionist, desperate to bridge the gap. She admits her magical training has been brief, lacking real-world battlefield experience. Len reassures her that her raw potential is immense. Meanwhile, the chief eyes a nearby city as a prime target for plunder. His speech ignites a bloodlust in the tribe. He orders an immediate march while his warriors howl in savage anticipation. He's heard rumors of a local sorcerer hoarding rare grimoires. Len wonders which of those treasures would best suit Alice. He secures a stack of ancient texts for her education. Her gratitude is endless, interrupted only by a sudden armored arrival. A voice asks if the hunt is beginning. Cloaked in gleaming plate, she looks every bit the divine executioner Len expected. For Alice, this is a holy crusade. After a decade of suffering under those demons, vengeance is finally within her grasp. Retribution has arrived. Arriving at the city walls, they find the gates wide open for a massive high-profile celebration. The goblin army watches the festivities in confusion. Len orders Alice to wait at camp while he scouts the area. While he scouts, a grand coronation unfolds below for Avril, the newest prodigy of the noble line. She's set to become the youngest ruler the city has ever seen. Amidst the cheers, she humbly expresses her deep gratitude. She vows to surpass her grandfather's legacy and protect the citizens with her very life. The crowd is absolutely captivated. Her tone shifts, demanding information on the runaway sword saint. She intends to drag the traitor back for holy judgment. The citizens howl for blood, completely under her spell. From the shadows, the old lord watches his successor with gleaming pride. Perched atop his dragon, Len observes the spectacle. He hadn't anticipated they were actively hunting his new secret weapon, Alice. A dark grin forms. The irony is delicious. Below, the army prepares for war as the elf seeks a status report. 6,000 soldiers are packed inside that fortress. It's the ultimate chance for a total wipeout. He orders the berserker to smash the entrance. The green tide surges, splintering wood with every hit. Soldiers lose it shrieking for their lord, but they're getting deleted before they can even run. The elven girls are vibing with these rifles way more than bows. Finally, the gate shatters. The siege begins. As Lynn directs the chaos, the noble lady watches her city turn to ash. Explosions rock the streets as Dragon becomes a death knell. She desperately tries to rally her men, but nobody is listening. High above, the Archmage leads his legion to face the monster horde. The girl freezes in shock, goblins. Then she scoffs, relaxing since they're just low-tier trash. She plans a quick massacre, followed by drinks. Since it's her birthday, she'll gift the survivors food. All in the Klein family name. But reality hits hard. The goblins are absolutely dominating every clash. Our hero and the mage lock eyes. The old man realizes this is the monster who shattered the holy blade. Lin smirks, surprised his fame traveled this far. The mage growls, calling him a walking disaster. He warns of the fallout before igniting a crystal, hurling a mountain-sized boulder at our hero. Narrowly dodging, Lin spurs his dragon into action, while the mage stays locked in his chant. Fine, have a gift from me. He rockets toward the young mage, sparking a frantic civilian stampede. The meteor descends amidst a chorus of screams. The lady senses doom, but Lin stays focused. The dragon exhales a torrent of flames. Desperate, the woman unleashes a massive superclass incantation. She banishes the meteor through a spatial rift. But then she freezes. The dragon has vanished entirely. Impossible, the mage stammers. Lin laughs. Your granddaughter is cracked, or this castle would be rubble. A mangled soldier staggers forward, begging for death, but the mage's light mends him instantly. A tongue of fire licks toward them, but the elder blocks it. Quit the cheap tricks. Face me properly, he yells. Lin chuckles, guilt-tripping a goblin. We don't have a moral compass. The mage's face pales. He's miscalculated. Retreat. Everyone fall back to the inner fortress. They scramble inside in a frenzy. The heavy doors thud shut, leaving the terrified soldiers whispering. These aren't normal monsters. They're elites. A soldier groans, wishing the holy sword was still theirs. The lady vows to protect them. This fortress is absolute. No monster is stepping foot inside. Outside, the goblins falter, prompting a tactical withdrawal. See, they're just weaklings, she scoffs. They won't dare return. The old mage agrees, confident the enemy is just a joke. The girl asks if that was the sword breaker. If I crush him, I'm the strongest, right? Lin didn't want a massacre, but their recklessness sealed their fate. Don't blame me for this. She cackles, mocking his delusions. With a sharp gesture, she orders her elite guards to strike. Her champion hunts him while the rest wait. Suddenly a mage shrieks the enemy is closing in. Relax, our barrier is unbreakable, she sneers. But a lone goblin steps up, telling Lin he's got this. The monster charges his energy, stalking toward the shield. The archmage senses their defense is failing. Spiderwebs of light fracture the barrier. Inside, the citizens wail, praying for the lost holy sword. If they won't come out, we'll drag them out. The battle rages as goblins tighten their grip. Troops itch to rescue civilians, but the mage forbids it. This castle is our final gamble. He's reeling. How is his life's work being shredded by goblins? Outside, the cries of families echo. We have to save them. A desperate mob forms, surging toward the massive gates in a riot. Guards struggle to restrain the crowd. The lady screams for order, promising protection she can't give. A shimmer makes her spin. Her guard is already down. An elf calmly blows smoke from her rifle. She locks onto her next target. The old man is baffled. Since when do elves lead goblins? You treated us like property, the elf snarls. Today we're here to collect your debt in blood. Fuming, the archmage weaves a defensive seal. Fall back, girl. This line isn't going to hold. Sir, the rear exit is blocked. The mage's mind races. How did these trash monsters become so overpowered? Is the big secret just a massive steroid cycle? That's a wrap for today. Smash